What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to NECC. I'm Echo K, and I'm joined by a very special someone with me here today. The one and the only. He needs no introduction, but just in case you somehow don't know his name, it's Regdor. How you feeling today, man?
You know, I'm feeling great. It's sunny. It ain't too hot. It ain't too cold. It's just beautiful. And you know what? The weather never matters on the Rift, so we're doing great.
True. The weather is always the same on the Rift, but it is gonna get fierce today on the Rift. I'll tell you that much, Regdor. Today we've got Misericordia. I'm so proud of myself that I said that correctly. That name is a tongue twister and a half. Cougars yellow going up against Ashland University head to head this week. So let's not waste any time. Let's take a look at the rosters. Please, Regdor, run us through this real quick.
Yeah, we got Ashland University. Currently, they are 1-0. They had a 2-1 victory over Arcadia Knights last week here in the Navigator Division. We've got Zeus Meister up in the top lane, followed by Pwned by Fate in the jungle, the one and only Trash Panda, phenomenal name, in the mid lane. And then finally, Fish and Tux with Tapered Spencer making up that bot lane duo for Ashland University.
Fish and Tux, Looky, that's the real goated name right there. The Trash Panda is good too, but Fish and Tux? I mean, come on. Imagine you getting shut down by that. That's just, what are you going to do, honestly?
I mean, it's just going to feel as bad. But yeah, no, that's a 12 out of 10 name.
No, we're not doing the feels bad angle again this week. We had that last time already. We need to think of a new shtick this time.
Okay, I'll work on it. I'll work on it.
It's going to be, we're going to work on a different angle. But, of course, it's not going to be easy for them to be taking that win. Obviously, last week, they got it with a 2-1. It was a bit of a battle, but they did come out on top. But they are, like we said, going up against a team who this week is going to be out for a lot of blood, as we talked about, right? Misericordia, Cougars yellow took an L last week, going 0-2. Take a look at their roster real quick and see what they got working with and who we have to be looking out for today. If we can get that up. There we go. Okay. Now we just got select misselect ball. We'll go through that. We'll go through that. No worries. In the top lane, we've got Saintly, Comic, Miscreant in the jungle. When it comes to the mid lane, we have a Doughboy 73. That's another goated name. Then we have the Mist 4, and last but not least, oh wait, what? Why does it say the Mist 4 as well? PSU, I believe. Oh, Soom. Excuse me. They've Soom in the support role. It's gotta be all messed up. Even the graphic that we get here is a little messed up. But regardless, it's gonna be a bit of a banger per usual.
Yeah. I think the Cougars are doing something that me and the friends like to do on Friday nights, and that is we all press fill and see what kind of happens. Because it looks like the roster is filled with support in jungle, which is great to see. I can never find a jungler in solo queue. It always says priority. They're filled to the gills with them. So that means that somebody may be playing a little bit of off-roll tonight. We might see some cool adaptations because of that, but nonetheless, I mean, they're looking to find themselves the first win. We all know how important that tempo, that feeling is getting on a roll, and you don't want to be on a roll with L's. That's
very true.
Yeah, it's
very
just
true.
not. It's not great. I almost said feels
nowadays.
bad again. Yeah, you can't feels bad anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
We're
too
optimists.
easy to hit them with the feels bad. Exactly, we're optimists here. See, and you've got that optimist take, right? You could say that everyone's just queuing up Phil, and then the gods decide. It's kind of also looking like an angle where you kind of load in, right? And then you have your random teammate that goes like, I'm jungle. And you're like, no, you're not. I got jungle. And like, no, I'm jungle. Like, you just got that 3 ways and then support 2 ways as well. And we're just going to have to see how they end up duking it out. It kind of feels like.
Maybe we go back to Janna Smite top. Who knows? Like, that was
please.
a great time. That was a great time in
no.
League of Legends. Come on. Everybody loved it. It got FlyQuest some wins. It's got to be working.
No, I don't want to see that right there. I do not want to see that. Okay, I want to see just some nice, clean League of Legends as we are getting into the draft itself. I do believe.
Yeah, that's we already got a Malphite in the game, and last week we saw the Malphite into
Don't even
Darius.
remind me.
Yeah.
Don't even remind me, man.
Hey,
that was a slaughter.
Saintly Comic is out here to just vibe it out with this champion in his pocket.
Yeah, honestly, we saw some nasty plays coming up from the Malphite last week. Curious to see if Saintly Comic is going to do the same thing this time around. But the Bel'Veth actually being locked in, something that I feel we haven't really seen too often here in competitive as much as in solo queue.
Yeah, Bel'Veth is that interesting kind of champion in the sense that they really just want to power farm their jungle. It's almost a little bit of a 50-50 because you also really want to go for first Herald, but in this meta, going for the first Drake and playing towards the bottom side of the map is so incredibly important. So, you don't have a farming jungler who doesn't have good ganks and wants to play on the top side of the map. That is really outside of the norms of what we've seen out of a lot of the junglers in the meta right now.
Yeah, we also saw that Kane ban came through as well just before we had to cut back. I'm curious to see if we're going to see a lot of attention being kind of put on to cutting out the rest of these junglers that they don't want to see. And I mean, that Bel'Veth is always somewhat of a solo carry kind of angle, so to speak, right? You've got a lot in your kit that allows you to really make things happen. I'm looking at that 60-70% damage reduction. That's just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, and they get to hit you back. The over-under, or above and below, as it's called. It's just so insanely useful. Yeah. And I think that's the thing is that I tell a lot of people is if you look at solo queue trends, like Bel'Veth building Kraken Slayer, Shield Bow, and playing this crit or on-hit demon, as opposed to what we see generally in competitive is the Blade of the Ruined King into Frostfire Gauntlet, Death's Dance, Wits End. You don't need more damage. The champion's already got so much baked into their true form that if you play more of this role player setup and just survive being in the front line, you're going to get those resets and be able to do so much with the champion.
Yeah, definitely. We also saw the Volibear, right, was one of those first picks that did end up coming through, which already with that Trundle as well, making me feel like we might be seeing some level 6 action in the top lane. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Volibear plus Trundle is insanely interesting, right? And the fact that you do get to shut off the towers, kind of turn off the lights, somebody didn't pay their electricity bill, and get those dives off, and should kind of slow down or really accelerate on the top side of the map. But it's Malphite, so true. If I'm getting my Volibear ahead and just trying to beat up this Rock, like I said last week, Rocks don't bleed, man. He's always going to be useful. So I'll be really interested because it's going to be a bit of a surprise for us how the rest of the composition breaks out is what the bottom side looks like. If you can just leave Volibear to vibe out with the Rock up in the top lane and, again, just attack the bottom side of the map, maybe give up the first Herald, let Bel'Veth get it. It's fine. It's not a game ender there. And just try to accelerate the bot lane, which is the current meta, then I think you'll look pretty good. But if Bel'Veth just gets to farm on repeat, pick up neutral objectives left and right, well, then you've got a scary void monster that's just going to Zerg rush your base.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it's also such a great pick because really the Trundle, if he wants, like you said, right, the Rocks don't bleed. He can leave the top lane alone because that Subjugate, especially stealing a lot of that armor as well, taking it away from that Malphite is going to be incredibly huge when you are going up against, like we said, the Bel'Veth. And is, we can see the draft and what came through, but it was actually the Zeri that also ended up coming through for MIS, so it's just going to make it even harder for them to actually crack them.
Yeah, that is going to be quite the process there. It's almost like the meme I saw online is if you play against Viego, just level the wrong abilities and don't spend your gold, and then if Viego takes you, it's kind of useless, right?
True.
Yeah, I have to say, with these hard scaling compositions now, looking through it, you have got a timetable if you are Ashland that you are working against, and that is the scary Zeri. Like, even in this quote-unquote nerf spot that kind of pulled down a lot of things for pro play, still scales incredibly well on 3 items, is doing a lot of damage, and for the most part, you've just got health stackers on the side of Ashland. You don't have a lot of champions that are building hard resistances, so once you get that IE, once you get maybe a Lord Dom's thrown in there when she's on 3 or 4 items, she just tears through your entire team, and your only chance to lock her down is hopefully Nautilus R into just 100-0 with like Swain. But other than that, like, she's kind of got the maneuver to play a little bit of Valorant, a little bit of FPS on the Rift.
And as well with that Soraka being locked in as well, it's like it's not a Yuumi moment, but it's close. It's slightly less Yuumi moment, so I would say.
Yeah, Soraka's got an interesting spot in the meta right now, in the sense that she can't actually nullify a lot of what the enemy team is trying to do just with that silence ability. Not even throwing in the wish, not even throwing in the innate healing numbers that she can pump out, just for the simple fact of like, okay, you got on top of her, congratulations. You're not going to get to be able to do your full combination. Like, Nautilus, it doesn't hurt as bad. He can just auto attack and root you in place with a giant anchor. But Caitlyn's not going to be able to, 90 caliber net away. Swain's not going to be able to do the follow-up, QW combos into his roots. She can actually disrupt the training patterns of a lot of these champions. And inside of a team fight where it's already hectic, and the next thing you know, your buttons don't work, well, that could be a real bad moment.
Yeah. Well, as we are ready to get on to the Rift, I say, let's just get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. MU Esports going up against Ashland University. Let's get into this thing.
You really think you were going to get away without saying the full name again?
Listen, man, I tried. You have to say it for once too, man. I can't be doing it myself all the time.
No,
I know I'm gonna mess up and embarrass myself one of these days.
See, I'm here to know like great things about League of Legends and how the game might play out. You're here for the big words.
That's, you know what? I guess you got a point there. You've got me in a bit of a pickle there. Well, I'm sure I'll have to say it at some point, but I have a little bit of breathing room for right now, as we are on the Rift. Things are only just now getting started, so it is obviously going to be a bit quiet. Now, they do have that Nautilus, so wouldn't be too surprised if, oh my god, look how the camera just menacingly pans down, and menacingly Tape Dispenser already is standing in that bush. A lot of words getting dropped down already, though, so they are going to be able to perfectly track Miscreant once he shows up in this bot quadrant.
Yeah, and that is a nice, just simplistic play here to get that early vision down to notice the start. It does look as though Miscreant is going to choose to start towards the bottom side. It doesn't. Oh, we'll have a sweeper. Okay, so cool thing is if they actually take these wards, it doesn't look as though Sume is going to stick around. But if they did, they could literally just get an early level 1 or level 2 just by hanging out when the ward dies. The XP from it allows them to get level 2 on the first wave, which means a lot going into this Swain.
Yeah, definitely pretty big. Definitely pretty big. See if they're going to be able to make something happen with it. As we are coming back to camera, a little bit of technical difficulties going down here, but now that we get to kind of see where everyone's looking to start, what do you think the game plan is for Ashland here? What are you feeling?
I feel like Trundle is going to either try to develop a split map by knowing where Belveth is going to start on the bot side, is either going to rush from his red straight over to their blue. Belveth has some dashes, has a little bit of this and that, but Trundle is an excellent duelist, and I think I saw the lethal tempo there, so is able to just stack up and beat down on this Void monster before she can get too big and strong. Or B is he's just going to path away from her down to the bot side and play towards the Caitlyn Nautilus lane. Caitlyn is a champion that just wants to push, just wants to knock you under tower, and then just beat the crap out of you and just hold you there. But you can't do that if your jungler's on the top side of the map. That's how you get set up for a gank. Or so I've been told from my solo queue games, is I'm supposed to look at my mini-map. So if Caitlyn gets shut down in the early game and Caitlyn doesn't have the ability to just push them under tower and do that, then it negates a lot of what she wants to do. So Trundle either A, has to just go kill the enemy jungler early and say, I'm going to 3-buff you, and I'm just going to like jungle kingdom this, or B, just has to path down to bot side, cover the Caitlyn Nautilus for the first few levels, and then look to go from there into these early Drakes.
Okay, respectable plan. And as we are back. Oh my god, that time. Okay, Rector, you got that plan from the start, man. That was some crazy timing as Miscreant were a little bit further ahead, already looking for that gank in this top lane. The storm coming down the dash, like you said. A lot of damage coming through, but are they going to have enough is the question. Zeusmeister, he's holding on to that flash. He doesn't want to waste it. As Pwned by Fate is here, beautiful pillar to get Miscreant off, and the flash coming out the chomp as well. Looking to find themselves that first blood. Is it going to be that subjugate coming through here? They're going to subjugate the whole map, and there's that lethal tempo, but flash getting dropped by Saintly Comic, and so not going to forget anything, but they will get the flash out from Saintly Comic.
First blood.
And oh, there, okay, well, there's the first blood. There it is.
Yeah, well, so a lot of the early game things are kind of happening. I mean, that's 3 out of 4 flashes blown on the top side of the map between jungle mids, and the bot lane for the side of Ashland is pushing like we expected. Now, covering these top dives, and we look right now, neither jungler nobody dies except for the mid laner. Vigar went pop there. But this does, once again, set up this interesting situation. We have 1 minute until the Drake spawns. You've got good prio on the bottom side of the map, and you know at least where the enemy jungler is based off of that CS count they still had to farm their top side quadrant, it does look like. So we may just see another fight here around the bot lane shortly.
Doesn't surprise me here. It's Pwned by Fate. Grabbing that second crab. Listen, I'm a certified crab wrangler myself. That always feels good when you get those first 2 crabs, hit that +1 to it. There's no better feeling as a jungle, I'll tell you that much.
You know what? Crabs don't mean as much as they used to, which is kind of nice. But it is always a nice little CS differential, as it looks as though this should be... Is this the first clear on the bottom side of the map? This is second clear, it should be for Trundle. We do see Miscreant down here in the bottom lane, just sniffing out this vision. Not going to be able to get it.
Hook is going to land, and look who's here. Pwned by Fate. Beautiful pillar there. Miscreant trying to dash away. Can he find the knockup? He'll get that, but that's looking like all he gets. Burrows, heals, and dies as well. Down goes Miscreant. Tape dispenser is going to be picking up that kill. Pwned by Fate just going to allow Fish and Tux and Tape dispenser to push in this wave and then head on back. But regardless, I mean, it's like you said, Pwned by Fate, he's just going to look for blood. He's just going to look to kill Miscreant over and over, start dominating the jungle, and he's on a pretty good path to do that, it seems.
Yeah, there's like 2 champions in the jungle in League of Legends that feel like the biggest stat sticks there are. Trundle and Warwick. In this case, when you have Trundle in the game, that's exactly that. They are just a stat stick that's going to club you to death. And if they have more stats, they have more gold, they're going to beat you. And in this case, Pwned by Fate, you know, already on that path, has a nice little CS lead, as well as looking to pick up the first Drake here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of answers unless Mist is able to scale into this game well, with that Cole looking to do just that.
Mist trying to find the steal here with the old shock laser, but not quite going to get it there. Nice roam coming through from Trash Pan as well. Make sure that they can pressure them off. A valiant attempt, though. Valiant attempt. And I mean, you can see up right in that top lane, Miscreant realizing probably not much they're going to be able to do about that drag, so just goes up and instead looking to take away some of the camps of Pwned by Fate.
Yeah, good use of timing. You can see that it's a simple ward in the top side to keep Mr. Zeusmeister safe here, knowing that he will be on the weak side of the matchup for now as he TPs back to the lane. But this is just the age-old question of does the early game agency of Ashland able to close out the game before the scaling of MU is able to get online here, as a nice little combo here from Trash Panda.
Yeah, followed by the Event Horizon. That's a very early Primordial Burst coming through from Zoom there. Getting a little bit of damage off. No, I'm not going to question, but in that top lane, actually, Zeusmeister going down here from a nice gank from Miscreant.
Yeah, and that's Miscreant needs to, number 1, get level 6 ASAP Rocky. Wants to be able to have access to that true form. It allows them to do so much more on the map. Besides the stat sticks alone, allows you to like dash over terrain, which we saw before. If you find yourself between a rock and a pillar, there's really not much you can do other than accept your fate of going to gray screen. As Pwned by Fate, you know, feels pretty confident and comfortable where they're at in the matchup now to just go ahead and try to power farm a bit, because their lanes are all doing pretty well, minus Zeus up on the top side, but mid and bot, you know, they're in business. So just allow people to continue to just kind of scale into the game. You're looking at a 2-0 already on Trash Panda. Early lost chapter. All these things equal success for Ashland. Just kind of waiting until this next neutral objective comes up.
Close look there, but yeah, it's like you said, they're in business, and business is booming right now, Rick. They're like you said, right? 2-0 Trash Bandit sitting on that, looking real nice. Which we did miss that kill that he was able to secure on Zoom there, but he's pushing that turret. He's definitely getting those plates right now. Bot lane is shoved in as well as Team Miscreant is a little surely making his way over there. I think they'll look to find something here as Tape Dispenser moving to clear out that ward, but that timing couldn't be any more horrendous. They don't even see him coming with that fog of war. Doughboy on his way on over. Maybe they look for something here. Miscreant has that level 6 available, but gonna have to go for anything just yet. Probably want to wait for their bot to hit 6 before they do anything drastic.
One of the best things I've ever heard about playing Zeri is just act like you're not a champion until you have 3 items. And that seems to be what the game plan is. But unfortunately, because Misericordia got spotted out in that ward, it just opens up the door for this Herald on the top side. They know that jungle won't be there in time. They've got the priority in mid, so it just makes it simple to where if somebody like Saintly walks up, well, that rock may just crumble here in a second.
Yeah, Saintly's gonna drop that ward down, was looking to see what's going down, but he's gonna be able to escape that one. Running off the pillar, gonna push him away, and that is gonna be Herald secure it. And I have the slight feeling it's about to get dropped in this mid lane, but Miscreant might be going down here first. Oh my god, dude. The solid snake movement here, Pwned by Fate, gonna let him pass. Gonna drop that Rift now. Zoom in a terrible spot. No, come on, you can't do him like that. Gonna come out
Ace
the
in the hole.
Fish and tugs, but actually not quite gonna find the kill because the wish did come down. Pwned by Fate needs to run for his life. Miscreant out on his tail, but gonna drop that pillar and will be able to escape that one. So we're gonna get some gold from the turret. Zoom is gonna stay alive. It could have been worse.
That is the that's 2 ships passing in the night. I have no clue how neither jungler saw one another. But, you know, looking at the state of the game, it's just that nice little 2K gold lead towards Ashland, who, again, have been making a lot of these proactive moves. Outside of the one topside gank out of Miscreant that resulted in that kill for Saintly, it's just been all the way of Ashland as we can look across the board here. Small little gold leads across the board, nothing too far outside except for this mid lane, and Swain is that champion that once they get online, once they get moving, you cannot get out of the demonic ascension, and it lasts indefinitely, let me tell you. It is quite the maneuver here alongside this Conqueror. So right now Trash Band is looking like the scary man in the game.
Yeah, actually not going to opt to fight. Miscreant doesn't want to take that, knowing that obviously Zeusmeister could roam down as well. Just gonna go ahead and back off, head back to base, buy some more items, get pretty close to what I'm assuming it's gonna be that Dragon's there. So the bot lane, nice hook does land, the flash, the heal. Doughboy, he's gonna be able to escape that one, but that's gonna be double sums being burned. It's gonna make it so much easier to take them out if they get on top of them again.
Oh yeah, that is a feels bad moment, not able to silence out most of that combination. But that was a 10-minute, by the way. This is a 10-minute Landry's Torment on the Trash Panda right now.
God.
Literally 1 full item complete while the rest are sitting on mostly their key components.
Yeah, but speaking of sitting on top of Saintly Comic right now as the eye gets dropping. Not quite going to find him with the slow there. Unstoppable before it's going to get dropped. And so Saintly Comic is going to be able to escape with his life, but he's going to have to give up some waves here as looked like Pwned by Fate was looking to help to push him in, and he knows he has to stay. I'm a little worried for him. Obviously, Zeusmeister, no mana, but does have that ultimate. So if you can regen it, maybe they can still find something here as they're pushing this wave. And saying the comic, probably just going to keep it back in, I would assume, but it would be dangerous. It would be dangerous.
Yeah, looking for the TP back in, but I think they just, want the free gold Pwned by Fate. Like any good jungler, takes your cannon, takes your tower plate, and then gets on out of there. That's their way of getting back for taking all those red and blue buffs in the mid game. Because now it looks as though Ashland's in a weird spot.
Yeah, especially Trash Panda in a terrible spot. Familiar Burst gets dropped, and even with that demonic ascension, he still falls. Down he goes. Fish and Tux can only watch as the 4-man look to take on the dragon here. Nothing really Fish and Tux can do. Dumps the ward, looking for some kind of opportunity to get something, but has to be careful. Yeah, that Event Horizon, I was about to say, if it comes out, he gets caught, definitely done.
And there is that nice true form from Miscreant, now tying up the dragons 1-1. We get a nice little Infernal Rift. Both teams definitely would love to have that soul in their pocket for this game. And the gold lead continues to stay the same. At this point, it feels like if you're an MU fan, if you're a fan of the Cougars, this is great news for you. Got a shutdown into the pocket of the Vigar. You pick up a Drake, you're keeping the gold lead same, and that means that, that scaling just continues to have more and more time. The only thing looking like is on the plate right now is maybe this mid-tier 1.
Yeah, that mid being incredibly low, and that's going to be a lot of gold that would go into the hands of the already ahead Trash Panda, but a flash coming through as well with the depth charges right onto the wish comes through, but you need to keep on wishing because down goes the miss for Doughboy with the 1 HP to his name, low running for his life, but there's nowhere for him to go and give him a quick snipe. Fish and Tux just adjusts his tie and takes him out, and they're also going to take out this bot tier 1 as well.
Incredible discipline from Fish and Chucks to not just flash auto there. I would have burned my flash, let me tell you what. But they did a really good job making sure to clean up both of the kills there, able to get a full tower out of this. That's 5 plates in their pockets, given spread amongst 3 individuals. But that still should be probably a mythic on the return. And yeah, there it is, the Gale Force now coming through. We have 3 mythic items for the side of Ashland online, and on the opposite side you can see that's only 2. Math tells me 3 is greater than 2, therefore we're continuing to see how Ashland's able to pull ahead a little bit.
Well, you heard it first. 3 is greater than a 2, and only so far the Belveth and Sumir on the Vagar have their mythics. Obviously with Belveth, was roaming around when they couldn't find anything in the jungle and just taking away camps from Pwned by Fate, and so that is going to allow Miscreant to sort of keep up, if not just kind of stay equal with Pwned by Fate, regardless of how much he's kind of roaming around and making things happen. And that's definitely something that MU needs, as we talked about, right? And, it might fall onto Miscreant to make these things happen, at least in this mid game, as you wait for the Miss 4, right? Who is, like you said, you don't act like a champion until you get those 3 items, and it's still going to take some time before they can grab that.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of gold inequality right now to just zoom through onto those 3 items. We'll have to see though, because Zoom, the passive on Vygar, pretty nutty. I'm not sure how many stacks they're on at this point in the game, but it only continues to get larger over time, and that chance to just one-shot the Caitlyn, one-shot the Swain before he is able to get off the demonic ascension and get access to all of that healing, that will make a bit of a difference as this game proceeds on. But for now, we've got the bot lane tower down, the mid lane, so now Caitlyn can just kind of vibe it out in mid and continue to keep this push so they can look for these easy lanes like now to overload the top side of the map for the second herald of the game.
Yeah, and just talking about that infinite scaling potential that comes through from Zoom with those first tier 1s being down as well. In essence, that is going to be kind of hand feeding a lot of extra stacks over to Zoom with these waves that are going to push in pretty deep. And so obviously you are Zoom, it's not the end of the world that you're a little bit behind, right? You can just chill and scale.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Yeah, if you are the Cougars, you want to press the brakes, you want to slow this game down to a crawl and feed these 2 scalers in this area and the Vygar. Well, if we're Ashland, they picked up the second Rift Herald. They want to press the gas and just push through this game. You can leave the tier 1's top side, that's cool. Just leave the giant tank and Saintly up here alone in the top lane to farm, and just keep on pressuring the bottom side of the map around this next Drake.
But you see that ward superiority coming out here, as they are going to actually find Miscreant. Going to look to try and find something. The dash just coming through. Flash coming out from Pwned by Fate to escape that one. A bit too much damage coming out with Miss 4 and Doughboy there as well. Looking like this tier 1 in this top lane is going to fall down as Pwned by Fate. Something Fish and Tux is here as well. I think go for some kind of a flank play. Nah, actually, Pwned by Fate, I'm just out of here, bro. Like, good luck. I got places to be. Good luck.
He said, listen, I have an appointment somewhere else. I think he might be trying to go for this tier 2 in the mid lane if he's able to... If they're able to stop any of the recalls there. Doughboy and Mist are back in base now, so should be able to get this tier 2 for their time. Really good heads-up play by Pwned by Fate. And I was going to say, this is where we get to see some of the differences in ELO and different MMR, is that it was the original plan, you could tell from Ashland, to try to force this 4v4 on the top side after that tier 1 fell, whereas a lot of teams that we've watched would try to make the cross map play. You overload top, we're going to overload the bot side of the map. But somehow, in a twist of fate, they're able to get the tier 2 mid and get first look on drag off of that.
Yeah, not only that, they get Doughboy as well, who steps up trying to see what's going down in this dragon here. He goes down instead. And so not only do they get the mid tier 2, they get the dragon as well. They get a kill as well. Things are looking up for Ashland right now.
Ashland just have to continue to not let off of the gas. Now a nearly 5k gold lead in their pocket, 2 Drakes to their name, both Heralds. They're doing pretty great, and it may be Miscreant who's in the wrong part of town.
Yep, Dashing, looking to try and get away, but a nice grab comes through. The double grab as well. Nothing he can do. Down he goes. Gray screen, 30 seconds. We'll see you then.
And 34 stacks on Trash Panda. Not anything super crazy. We're not talking like, Senna out here with like 100 stacks in 20 minutes, but still a nice bit of bonus health in their pocket, and it looks like they're building towards that Demonic Embrace second item. Either that or Rallies, one of the two. Yeah, there's the full buy of Rallies. So now even harder to escape Trash Panda if they're able to get into the middle of the team. It just spells a little bit of GG's.
Yeah, once you're in, you're not getting out too easily. That's for sure. Zeus Meister, the only one, or the only lane, I should say, that has not got rid of their tier 1 just yet. Saint the Comic been doing a great job of holding it down. Soon, though, needs to hold it down himself, as we just think the Everfrost, excuse me, not the Gale Force, being dropped out. That'd be an interesting move here. Gale Force onto Veigar. But he is going to survive that one. Not much that Pwn by Fate can do. He's going to have to let him go as they look to just keep pushing the offensive here. Like you said, right, well, normally you say all brakes, right? But this time around, it's just all gas, absolutely no brakes. They need to accelerate. They want to get ahead, and they're going to try and get this kill onto Zoomer. Like you said, look at that. He can't even run, bro. I know he's small. I know those are tiny legs, but this is just, this is just wrong. Primary Burst comes through. So much damage, but so much healing as well. He will not die, but instead Zoom will. Down he goes. Down goes Doughboy, and down goes Miscreant. With that, that's 3 members off the board. That's going to be another turret off the board as well, as Zeus might in this top lane looking to find something on the Saintly Comet here, but it's just going to keep him there as down goes that tier 2. The Mist 4 is going to have to hold the line here, hold the defensive if he doesn't want to lose a tier 3 as well, but it's not looking too good from the TP coming through as well from Saintly to give him some backup. Not going to be able to stop that TP now that he's there. The turret goes down. He might follow suit as well. Death Charge is getting dropped as well, and the TP, was it worth it, Saintly? It's not looking likely. Unstoppable Force to get on out of there, and Ashland is taking everything on the map.
Off the back of Trash Panda, just seeing Zoom one step too far, 1 pixel too far away from Miscreant and the rest of the team, and is able to pick him off and just act like a god among mortals. There's no reason that should have worked, but it did, and they're able to get an entire inhibitor off of it and burn out the TP from Saintly as well. Like, they just went out so hard on this play, and you can already see from the side of MU. Name of the game, get up to the top side of the map and get some sort of vision control over this Baron, and to make sure it's not getting taken here at the 21-minute mark. Caitlyn, not the strongest DPS in the world, even with some of her changes. Still not that great, 2-item slump we always hear about from her. But with this Trundle being so far accelerated, with a Swain 4-1, they've got the ability to just take this Baron whenever they choose.
Yeah, definitely. Noticing as well the Warden's Mail coming out from Zeus Meister. I mean, they are not going to be able to put a dent into him, right? The only real AP damage dealer right now with Zoom is still incredibly behind. Look at that Trash Panda. I mean, he's holding off a 4-man offensive right now. Pops the Demonic Ascension. Needs to get into range of someone if he wants to keep it going, but it's just going to buy his team some time as they're looking to take down this Baron here. MU knows they need to get over there if they want to steal it. It's got 1k health left, and it's not looking like they'll be able to get it down. It goes into the hands of Ashland. They pick up that, and if I know anything about Ashland, they're looking to pick up even more. Saintly Comet going to go ahead and block the ace in the hope from coming through. But Doughboy getting chomped down on. We see the Royal Metro coming through in a nice blast cone, leaving Mist in the dark here, just barely escaping Zeus Meister. But Trash Panda still gonna get that bird kill at the Doughboy. That's a huge healer down. There we go. Turret disabled, and so is the health bar. Mist it down. He goes. Miscreant can only watch. Saintly with the dash in, but is it gonna be enough? It's not looking likely. They find Zeus Meister, and that's all they're gonna find today. Down goes another member. Saintly Comet goes down. And now Zoom is the only one left standing. The recall coming through, but it's too little too late. Your teammates are dead. Your turret is dead. Your inhibitor is dead too. What are you gonna do, Zoom? You gotta mount some kind of defense here. He does get hit with the pull. A lot of damage coming through, but the Event Horizon is gonna get that stun going. Doughboy's back up, and so with that Ashland, they're very happy out of it. They're gonna go on and just head back.
They're able to take the disciplined play here, which was to get the inhibitor off the back of that fight and just set up for the next Drake. Even though they're very much so in the driver's seat at a 10k gold differential, they're not over pressing this advantage and trying to feed gold into the pocket of the Cougars. And a lot of this is off the back of the Trash Panda. You said Fish and Tux is a cool name, but the Trash Panda is out here making movement as he finds Doughboy again.
Oh no, he's making even more movement right now. What was that damage? Down goes Doughboy. The rest of them, you know there's nothing they can do to face this giant. They're gonna have to give that drag over. Doughboy had to learn the hard way, as that's the third drag in the hands of Ashland. All you can do is hold the line with these minions, trying to get rid of these waves before the rest of the gang come on over to wreak absolute havoc into their base.
Yeah, they are well on their way to trying to close out this first game. Still got a little bit of time on the Baron buff. I think about a quarter left on it to try to close this out with these supers pushing in.
Oh, nice three-man stun coming through, but just not that much damage. Lightning Crush from Misty's in the back. He's doing some damage. Zeusmeister gonna be the first one to fall. Maybe this is the gold that they need, but never mind. So much damage coming out. Safely gonna go down. Misty about to go down as well. It looked like they had something, but the demonic ascension, he made a deal with the devil, and it was not looking good for him. They go down, the turrets go down, and with that Rector in commanding fashion, Ashland picked themselves up game number 1.
They picked all gas, no brakes, and that is exactly what they did in this game. We had just the 3-minute gank on the top side, leading into a 3 out of 4 summoner spells blown between all of them into the bot lane, and it was just constantly just in this Trundle's hands to do what they needed to set up the team for success. Meanwhile, Trash Panda's just solo bolo in the mid lane and able to get so much of that early game gold. 10-minute mythic, which meant, like we saw around these objectives, how are you supposed to walk up? How do you face check this unstoppable Demon King of a champion in the mid lane? You can't. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, you can't. It's true, especially once he got that Rylance as well. We saw it was a 3-man on top of him. They couldn't kill him. Trash Panda was like, that's cute. I'm going to kill you now. And then the rest of the boys came over and they just wiped the floor with him. And they took so much from that initial engagement as well. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous indeed. And you'll have to see, like, going into game 2 is, can they keep this up? If they're put on to the blue side, which you'd have to like 50-50 this. It feels like the game's kind of blue side favored with all the champions in the meta right now. But can they keep it up if they do not have the counter pick? Can they create these same advantages if we just get rid of the Swain, if we get rid of the Trundle? Those are 2 easy bans to throw out there and see, can they adapt and continue on to another win?
Well, we're going to have to wait and see as we go to a quick break. And then when we're back, we'll be in draft for game number 2. It is a best of 3, so MSU does still have a chance. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're in a draft for game number 2, and already, Regdor, I'm a little surprised. Ashland and MIS both haven't switched. There's been no side switching going on here. Is that just kind of part of the plan here, or are you surprised as well?
You know, I guess I can't say I'm surprised because it depends on who you ask in the world of like what's better. It is a blue side favored meta. That's what, you know, smarter people than I have said. And if you lose game 1, okay, let's go back to the drawing board, change some things up. There's one of the changes. You know, they banned Seraphine there in game number 1. Instead, Ashland say we're going to ban the Seraphine, so it gives the Cougars a free ban onto that Swain. The Trash Panda will not make a deal with the devil again, but instead, you know, they say, what else can you sort of do? We'll have to see. The Mordekaiser as the top laner was picked second in the draft there, and that already feels like a little bit of an adaptation. Saintly able to do a little bit more on this champion and at least maybe get the Trash Panda out of the fight as opposed to just being ran awry by it.
Yeah, definitely. With that NECC that was obviously picked up way towards the end there, it kind of feels like this time around Ashland's going like instead of 5 gases and 0 breaks, we'll go with like 4 gases and 1 break just to be safe. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, and NECC is in a very interesting spot. I know he's got some changes coming here on the next patch, but that's in the future, and we live in the present. And definitely into Mordekaiser, really a great feeling because it's all on Mordekaiser to try to make something happen in this lane. NECC does not care. NECC does not want to interact with you. NECC just wants to tend to the fields of minions. And like you said, that is the breaks. But there's another set of breaks thrown in there. This time, Fish and Tux is going to be on the Zeri instead. We'll have to see what they pair alongside of that.
Going to be the Nautilus actually coming out here into this Ash ROM. So now I'm very curious if it's going to be sort of a complete maybe 180s. You know, we kind of saw this like really fast, aggressive coming out here from Ashland in game number 1. Maybe game number 2 is going to be more just kind of chill, you know, a little more slow paced. But that Nocturne does make me feel like, you know, once level 6 comes around, someone's dying.
Yeah, and you have the Sylas. And Sylas right now is one of those champions that I feel like is picked for having mid priority as well as the jungle mid 2v2 skirmish in the early game. And Nocturne plus Sylas is a scary game to play. The first time you get abducted into the fear, you're at least going to have to blow your flash if you don't somehow die. And with Sumi back on the Vigar, we're going to have to see, can he has a very long cooldown on the event horizon. If he does not time that correctly, it's the same way as playing as Talia. The moment that you waste that one skill, you're now a sitting duck in the lane. And if, you know, Trash Panda is able to do what he did last game, then you're going to have a lot bigger issues because Sylas has a lot more ways to get on you, in my opinion, than the Swain.
Yeah, definitely. And at the same time, it also kind of feels like, though, obviously the Sylas is, in this case, needs to get towards you, right? With the Swain, he's going to pull you towards him. Sylas really needs to get on top of him. So like you said, right, that event horizon, the timing, the placement of that is going to be absolutely huge. And we saw, I feel, some kind of a few hints here and there of Zoom having some really good event horizons. I remember they were in the base, right? He gets that very nice 3-man stun that came through. Obviously, it was already a bit too late and they weren't able to kind of get too much out of it. But regardless, he's shown us that he can make things happen, and you know, he can make really good plays, really good opportunities.
Yeah, and a lot of the question is going to be around the bottom side of the map once again. And one of my issues with the Cougars sort of draft right now is we've got a lot of role players. We don't have a whole lot of carries because Ash, even with the changes on this patch, you know, the Ranger's Mark got that increased attack speed. After you charge it up, you press your Q, you go burr. But that doesn't turn her into the main DPS threat that you would find out of a Zeri, out of a Caitlyn, out of it, you name anybody here. She sits in the same category as a Jen, where it's like she can have a strong laning phase, but she's there for a lot of the utility, the slows on top of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and really helping somebody be enabled. And the only thing that she can enable right now is maybe the Trundle. We saw how crazy a Trundle can be when they get accelerated, and Miscreant had some great looks, but I feel like there's a lot of emphasis being placed on this jungler and on the Vygar to really carry this game with the composition that they've set up so far. Whereas you look at the other side of the map, you've got the Zeri, you've got Nocturne, you've got Sylas, you've got a Nasus in your back pocket as well. You have a lot of champions that just say, no, you don't get to play the game anymore, it's my game now.
Yeah, and it definitely feels like Ashland kind of also recognized the fact that they are going to be, relying on this Vygar to get ads early, because like we talked about, right, that Nocturne Sylas kind of synergy that's going to be coming through. Once the lights go out and you get hit by the Ashland, like you might as well just, if you don't have flash, put your hands away from the keyboard, bro. You know what's coming. Like it's over. It's just over.
I will say I've heard some interesting things about Nocturne as of late. Nocturne is a champion that I personally do not like in the meta right now. He is an assassin, and an assassin that cannot kill you is a problem. And it's really easy for Nocturne to get early kills right around those levels of 6 to 9. Once he gets around 2 items and the enemies get around 2 items as well, then it takes more than a full combo to kill the backline. And when you're sitting back there for a little bit too long without decisively ending a fight, well, then you just die. And that dive threat now kind of goes away in a sense. Instead, you're peeling back, peel away the Nocturne, and then fight it front to back. So Nocturnes have turned to things like Bork into Sunfire. Some people are taking the Stridebreaker into Anathema's Chains and reducing that tenacity on a carry, so then your fear is even this much longer on top of it. So we'll have to see what kind of things they got cooked up in the jungle, what dark technology might be coming out from the Nocturne.
Well, let's take a quick look into the lab, see what they got cooking as we're getting on to the Rift for game number 2, possibly the last game in this series. If Ashland can take it home, that's a 2-0 clean sweep from. Let's get on the Rift. Let's get this thing going. And a pause. It's, comedic timing.
Yeah, it feels bad. It looks as though Saintly hadn't got his items yet, so maybe that was, you had to check real quick on Mobifier and see like what's the meta build right now. Do people still use Mobifier? Icy Veins? Anybody?
any Mobifier users in the chat? He was like, let's see, good build here. Going for it. Oh my god, but. It is what it is. There we go. There we go. All right.
Hey, and everybody's got items too. Look at that. The guide's online. Can you imagine? Not to like talk about Dota, but like Dota has like built-in wiki pages you can look at for builds in the game.
Oh,
and that's way too much. I mean, the recommended shop items is already pretty cool, but could you imagine like just pulling up like a full dissertation on why cleanse is a bad summoner spell?
Built-in Professor coming in the clutch there for the Dota players. Me personally, I'm not much of a Dota enjoyer. Never tried it. Probably never will. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, regardless, we're getting off topic here. Let's get into this game. We are in it, and already once again, Ashland looking menacingly. They have that Nautilus, but are not gonna opt to go for that invade this time around, as Miscreant was ready. But they have that ward placed there once again, just like game number 1. We saw how good of a job Ashland does when it comes to tracking Miscreant and making sure that they know where he is at all times and what they can make happen and when.
And this time around, though, it's not the same matchup. I'm not 100% sure, so nobody come for me in the comments, but I don't think that Nocturne wants to fight Trundle early on. I don't think Nocturne wants to fight Trundle in general at any point in stage of this game. So we're going to have to see, with the fact that we both these champions do just want to power farm, do just want to move on up in the world with levels and XP. I don't expect them to play around too much with each other in that same volatile lane state we saw. But this bot lane, with this Braum, the great counter-engaged champion that he is, with those concussive blows can do so much. And alongside Ashe, this is just slow city. We talked about the breaks. All the breaks are right there in the game. to say you're not allowed to play. So I'll be interested to see if they're able to find some picks onto maybe a little too aggressive of a tape dispenser.
Definitely could be a possibility. Look at this mid lane. Trackman already somewhat low here. Going in here with that. That's a lot of damage coming through. Trapped in that baby cage. They're actually still going to step into the stun. That could have, they were a couple of levels up. That could have been deadly. As in this bot lane here, already some fights going through. A lot of damage getting dished on to Tape Dispenser, who is getting a little bit aggressive like you just mentioned. But it's going to be able to get out of that one. Just the trades coming through here.
Yeah, sometimes I'm Nostradamus. I'm telling you. It just, things happen when you say it. In this mid lane matchup, it's going a lot like expected. It is melee into range, so Trash Panda is using their health bar as a resource to be able to continue to have this priority in the lane, trying to get it crashed in. So Sumi doesn't just have a free laning phase. They're going to have to fight for every CS that they want. And these heavy trades with that Kingslayer allow Trash Panda to kind of keep relevant in the lane without losing too much and going lethal.
Oh, once again, 2 trains passing the night, pwned by Fate, just barely getting away. They're actually from Miscreant. They're getting on top of Saintly Comet. Gonna pop that shield to keep buying him some time here. That Jungler can head on top. The flash coming through as well. Is it gonna be enough to question though? Death Grasp coming through. The flash by pwned by Fate. The flash by Miscreant. The chomp, the slap, and first blood goes over to Saintly Comet. This time around, they're not being taken out so easily.
Well, once again, we have 3 flashes burned in the top side of the map in the first 4 minutes. I said nobody wanted to play with each other, and these jugglers just proved me wrong. But you can see a little bit of the difference in equity there with the health bars as Miscreant is able to just tear through a lot of that. Even the shred, well, and there's another solo kill on the top side. Saintly, now 2-0. That is a bit of an issue.
Yeah, definitely. Zeusmeister already going to have a much tougher time now in this lane when it comes to just stacking, farming up. See, heading on back here. Fortunately, we didn't get to see the kill happen, but now 2-0 already has that leeching leer. Going to be able to counter some of that life steal that comes out from Zeusmeister, and so now it's just going to be even rougher for him.
Yeah, it is going to be a bit rough, but it burns the TP, and the wave's not in a horrible spot. It doesn't look like, so should be able to continue to get some of those Qs off in the lane, continue to stack on up. That is what the man is all about. Gnosis is all about scaling into the game. So even though they're down a kill or 2, still not the worst thing in the world. Is pwned by Fates going into this second clear, it looks like.
Yeah, grabbed himself the Raptors there from Miscreant. A little bit of a steal coming through. Gonna punish him for what Miscreant did to him in game number 1 here, taking some of his camps away. He's gonna give him the same treatment as that first drag is gonna be up a Hex tech drag as well. But it might be a kill on the board here first if Miscreant makes up that. He gets spotted out by the ward. He's gonna get that speed up, looking for that perfect pillar. Can he find it? Is gonna land onto Tape Dispenser, but not quite gonna find anything out of it. Instead, Fish and Tuck's gonna use that pillar to his own advantage. Get that Ultra Shock laser to land. Bill boy.
And just little things in this laning phase of watching Tape Dispenser just actually trying to keep a buffer between the danger and Fish and Tucks, trying to keep them out there because no walls around for the Sari to kind of skate off of, just there in the middle of the lane. You can see they always try to like hug near walls to just peace out whenever they may need. A lot of warning pings coming down on the bottom side of the map. And just continue to wait out the early storm. All of the engine of the early game.
They're coming through here as actually Tape Dispenser gonna go ahead and eat the dirt there. He went down. Fish and Tucks getting some trades going off, but not gonna get too much in return. Pwned by Fate is here as well. Doesn't have that level 6 yet though. Maybe gonna opt to go over the wall here as they are gonna start up that drag MU on top of it. 4 members strong. Gonna use the fruit here in the river, get some health back. Pwned by Fate does get spotted out. Can't do too much, but Trash Panda is on his way. Does have that level 6. Can hijack an ult here. Curious to see which ones he's looking to take. It's going to be Sooms, actually. Primordial first, looking a lot of low health bars, and there we go. They go on in. 3 members down, and Soom is looking to be the 4th here as well. The hook lands. The damage is in as well, and a triple kill for Pwned by Fate. Down they go. The Dragon follows suit, and Trash Panda once again making things happen.
The Cougars, I think, overestimated the amount of damage they could do to the dragon because Trash Panda actually walked over control ward into that. They had vision on 3 out of the 4 members, as this play was developing and choose to try to burn down the Drake in the process. They not only lose the Drake, but they get 3 kills over to Pwned by Fate. An accelerated Nocturne doesn't have the problem I talked about in draft, where they can't kill quick enough. If they're up an item on you, you die. Like you said, the lights go out, take your hands off the keyboard. And I thought for a second Miss might have taken their hands off the keyboard there. Did get hit by the dredge line.
It was looking dangerous, but Doughboy, the savior, was there once again. But yeah, we went from Miscreant being like, you don't want the smoke, to Pwned by Fate going like, no, my guy, you don't want the smoke. Like, let's see what you got. 3 and 1, has that chain whip as well. Is pretty fast. I think I'm probably going for the Stride Breaker, I would assume.
Yeah. That makes the most sense. We have seen some Gore Drinkers, but I don't believe the Hearthbound Axe. I could be wrong. But all those things being said, this is going to be the Herald up here. Started on the top side of the map.
Yeah, and there it is, the mid-jungle duo, baby. Nothing you can do, run as you like. You don't have flash, take those hands off the keyboard. Down goes Zoom, down goes the Herald at the very least to the Cougars. They're able to grab that, trade it for the life of Zoom, but that's just another kill going into the hands of Pwned by Fate. Oh my god, he smells blood and he checks that bush, and now he's in the thick of things, taking a lot of damage here though by Saintly Comic. Can he find himself the kill? He will at least get that. They find themselves one. Double flash coming through. Miscreant running for his life. Zeusmeister's here as well, and he's just gonna drop down the E, just burn him out. Down they go, going 1 for 1. Zeusmeister gonna pick himself up a kill, gonna pick himself up a little extra gold.
And they did get the Herald off of the play as well. So looking pretty up to get that shutdown put into the jungler's back pocket as well. And this is really a lot of Ashland and the Cougars playing around their priority lanes. If you want good things to happen, play around the strong ones. And that for now is Saintly Comic in the top side. As we can see, 2-0, living the dream nearly to that Rift Maker, while on the opposite side, Trash Panda's had so much autonomy in the lane to make these rotations and work in tandem. So it's really going to be a question of which duo is better in this point in the game.
Yep, and with a 4-2-2 Nocturne, it's definitely going to be tricky. First member on the entire Rift to have his mythic up and running as well. Obviously, did not to grab any boosts just yet, so has a little bit of a head start. Assume. Be careful, a bit of a tricky spot, little damage coming through, but not gonna find anything just yet. Some pressure coming through here as both junglers are moving on down here. Maybe we get to see another scuffle coming through. Drag isn't up for another 2 minutes, so it's just a matter of time.
And like you said, that it's all going to be around where Pwned by Fate kind of chooses to start these scuffles at. Has the ultimate back up and available, and it's going to use it.
Oh, actually gonna go for the mid lane though. Does get hit in that event horizon like we talked about. A very nice spell shield though by Pwned by Fate is gonna make sure that that Primordial Burst doesn't do any damage. But you know who does do damage? Miscreant. The flash coming through for Pwned by Fate to escape. The subjugate gets hijacked, and Trash Panda just swaps targets. They're taken out. Zoom looking to run down Miscreant, but doesn't want to chase too far into that jungle. He's happy with the kill he gets.
See, that's the kind of mid laner you want to see there, covering the jungler at that turn and able to actually get a kill out of it as well. Kind of fake all of us out. We thought there was going to be a play on the bot side, then it goes mid, and then we think Trash Bait is going to go after Miscreant, but then goes after Zoom. I'm just, my ankles are weak at this point, man.
Yeah. We got hit with the 1-2. Pwned by Fate paid off the observers. They're like, listen, pan down bot said they don't see this one coming, and we did not see it coming. Next thing you know, he's in that mid lane, but Doughboy might be looking for something. Miscreant, they ain't gonna see this one coming. The sun going through, you're on tape dispenser, the flash coming out, gonna try and land that hook, most likely the turret to get away safely. Never mind, he doesn't even need it. He knows the numbers. He knows he's not going down. The depth charges come out. You know who is going down? Doughboy. That's right, lower and lower. Down he goes. They pop him. Miscreant next with the speed up. Nice little hook landing there. They take him out. A tape dispenser, still not dead. Missed 4. Down he goes. A double kill going into the hands of Fish and Tux. Adjust the tie and the suit. You're looking good today, baby.
That was very much so like the song Suit and Tie with Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake there, as Trash Panda and Fish and Tux just working so well in tandem. Tape Dispenser doesn't even die. So out of that TP, we get a triple kill on the bot side. Doesn't even lose a wave. Is on their mythic item with another Oh,
no, mid lane. Taylor's old this time. He doesn't even need Trash Panda this time around. He's like, bro, take a break. I got this.
that was a very, very well executed spell shield to make sure they could get through the first half of the event horizon and actually stick to Sumi. I actually hadn't seen that before in live and in living color, and I tell you, I don't think Sumi had either.
Now he knows that, like, oh, it's going to be even harder to keep them off my back. Speaking of keeping them off their back, they're going to have to look to keep Doughboy and Miss 4 off their back as they grab themselves a Dragon. Easy, no contest. Tape dispensers here as well to apply some pressure. Miss 4 has to be careful. And maybe find something. You see their rotation coming through as well from Trash Panda. Maybe they look for something here. Not looking too like almost fate. Is sticking in the area though, but might just opt to just push this way instead.
Yeah, just gonna make sure to continue to get that priority. Now, a lot of gold sitting in Ashland's pocket. They also have 2 Drakes to their name. And again, they still have the Gnosis. 147 stacks to their name. Up here is the weak side warrior in their back pocket. Is a level down. Is down a considerable amount of farm. Saintly is making sure to show their presence, but it's going to be a question if Saintly can get out on the map. You can see right there, has a nice little gold lead in their pocket, probably 1,800 gold if my math serves me here. Can we get Saintly involved in the rest of the map like Trash Panda is doing in the mid lane? That's what we're talking about. The strength of the team is a lot in this Mordekaiser, and Mordekaiser getting out here and picking up some of these shutdowns will be imperative if the Cougars want to see their chances of taking it to a game 3 go up.
You know what, they don't see Miscreant. He was in that tri-bush right now, but oh my god, they didn't see that hook coming either. Fish and Tux gonna grab himself one. Lightning Crash and Flash both coming out here trying to find that damage onto Miss 4. Not quite gonna get those subjugate as well. Getting dropped. Shield Bow gonna keep Fish and Tux alive. Needs to be careful. The healing coming out from Shield Bow gonna keep him alive. A Miscreant, he's waiting. He's like, go ahead, be greedy, see what happens. Gonna look for something, or does have that flash available, but not gonna opt to go over the wall and try and just grab himself that kill. Needs to play it safe. Knows that tape dispenser doesn't mess around when it comes to protecting his ADC.
I mean, Fish and Tux is just walking out there like they're full health in the lane. It's giving me a little bit of a heart attack as they're trying to take down this tier 1. They're gonna take 3 tower shots in the process, but Pwned by Fate just gets to say hello to Shelly all on their own, maybe setting up for a nice little topside play.
Once again, we're in this position just like game number 1 at Trash Panda. 4-0, sitting pretty. He's got the money. Got the 5-2, Pwned by Fate. Bit of a different story this time around in top lane. Saintly Comic, like we keep saying, right? It's gonna, a lot feels like gonna come down to him, especially with that Death Realm, who he opts to take in these fights. It's gonna be absolutely huge, and Pwned by Fate can actually manage to maybe bait it out with that spell shield. Would be pretty huge, but regardless, still a little bit of time before we see these fully fledged sort of 5-on-5s. Zeusmeister, curious how many stacks he still has. Still going to be some time before he really starts hitting hard.
Yeah, it's really going to be a question of what can slow down Trash Panda. Anti-heal is a topic of conversation. There is a Gnosis. There is another light going out.
There's not going to be, I'm telling you right now, there's not going to be a Saintly Comic much longer. Trying to heal, but down he goes. The lights go out. The health bar goes down. Another kill into the hands of Zeusmeister, and in just 2 little ganks, Pwned by Fate has managed to get Zeusmeister back into this game.
That's exactly what we love to see, able to get the tower on the top side, and now it looks as though Miscreant might be hiding in the bush, waiting to maybe take a play, but that's not a 2v1 I would like to see.
Definitely not here, Assume. This is a 2v1 he doesn't want to see either. He can't even move. Double stuns coming through. Just going to go ahead and drop the W as he gets dropped himself. There's nowhere that Zoom can go on this map that Trash Panda won't follow.
God, it's rather unfortunate. That has been the name of the game, is you see a Yordle, you kill a Yordle, collect your gold, and continue to move forward. As once again, side lane pressure has been the big thing that Ashland are doing well. Both the tier 1s taken down, and they just have Fish and Tux hanging out here in the mid lane, who is accelerated, almost sitting on that Phantom Dancer, 1 item away from being a real champion in League of Legends. But hey, we've got Pwned by Fate and Trash Panda, who are both certified legends in their own right now, just able to continue to control the tempo of this game and choose where these skirmishes take place.
This next drag up in 38 seconds as well. Ashland 2 drags deep already. They grab themselves this one. They'll be on soul point, still holding on to the Herald. They have everything on the map to work with. I'm curious to see when Pwned by Fate is going to opt to drop it. Does he look maybe in that mid lane, look to force the Cougars to make a choice, right? Stop the Herald or go for drag, or does he save it for a little bit while longer? Then have to wait and see. With 13 seconds left on this drag, is Pwned by Fate. I'm gonna head on this mid lane here. I'm pretty sure he'll look to drop it.
Absolutely should be the case. Pwned by Fate is just so huge right now. Oh.
Wow. I mean, speaking of being huge, Trash Panda doing Trash Panda things. He's just sifting through the garbage. He's like, okay, I take this kill. I take this one here. He's 6-0-8 right now. He's quite dangerous.
Yeah, he is absolutely dangerous. And notice no Dark Seal, no Medgies from the man. This is just all the stat stick that is a level 12 Silas now. Has the Zanya's Hourglass to be able to try to wait for some of those CDs and some of these bigger fights. He's doing pretty great, and so far Ashland just continues to just have this game in a chokehold.
And it's a pretty tight one at the moment. Saintly still looking like the one salvation for the Cougars right now. 3-2, has been getting dogged on a little bit in this top lane here from Pwned by Fate. But we have yet to see him in a fully fledged team fight, right? I have yet to see what he can do with the combined efforts of his entire team. But I feel like that time is slowly coming to an end there as the mid lane push is coming through. But Ashland, per usual, will take their time. They're gonna rush them.
Continued discipline, which is one of the most important traits for a team in League of Legends. It is 19 minutes into the game. There isn't a Baron to take yet, but that's where eyes have to be because of this acceleration. They can choose to, just force the Cougars to come to an objective. Say you either lose or you come and fight, and you probably lose still, as they're going to try to maybe dive Zeus Meister.
Yep, looking like with all those turrets still standing, it's just nothing that they can do, though. The slow coming through on a Saintly comic here. Trash Panda is here as well, hijacking the ulti. Gonna look to get this kill. He's in the death realm with him, though. The one-on-one action coming through. You see lights going out as well in that river. Down it goes Doughboy. Down it goes Saintly. Just everyone eating the dust right now. Miscreant next on the list here. If Fish and Tux has anything to say about it, gonna go ahead and just absolutely skirt on by the crystal arrow. The flash coming through from a Miscreant, but it's not gonna be enough. Drop that pillar and put it on your grave because you're done. Miss 4 with the flash over the wall as well. He's praying for that turret to protect him, but can it protect him from the 3-man? That is Fish and Tux, Pwned by Fate and Trash Panda, and Dispensers here as well. I don't think so. I mean, look at this. It's just like the 4 hungry lions here, and they're collapsing in that death realm. Trash Panda gonna keep them there, gonna go, let the turret reset, and down goes Mist. And valiant effort, but not a single kill gonna get grabbed.
Red team's turret has been
they looked like they rushed the dive a little bit. Doughboy wasn't in position to be able to try to get down the concussive blows, or try to just go ahead and use that ultimate along the way to mitigate Zeus Meister from having to say in that skirmish, but instead that didn't happen. So he was able to just use the Fury of the Sands to just vibe out and wait for Trash Panda to come on through, and the collapse happened just like you said. And they lose a tier 2 as well as a hot number of people in return for it. And once again, the top side of the map, you can see the vision control, all the control wards down, trying to block out vision around the Baron. That is what I think they need in order to just be able to close out this game in a clean fashion.
I think by now that the 808 Silas would have picked up the Dark Seal, but no. It almost feels like Trash Panda is just kind of like, I'm going to handicap myself for this game. I'm not going to get the Dark Seal, right? I'm just going to go for the standard build items here, because just imagine how much damage he'd be doing with that fully stacked Dark Seal, or hell, even maybe a Medjaz at this point.
Yeah, to become a learned doctor on the Rift with the Magnus Opus, but instead they continue to just choke out the jungle of the Cougars. Trash Panda has the Enchanted Crystal. Oh my god!
That was huge. The hook into the arrow, into the kill. Down goes Miss 4. Doughboy next on the list. A flash coming through. Instead, the hook's gonna land on the Miscreant. Not quite gonna have that damage. Never mind. Fish and Tuck says, let me show you something. Go ahead, picks up that second kill under the turret. Even that can't save you. It is gonna take them considerably low, so they are gonna have to back up with Pwned by Fate. waiting for that opportunity, waiting for someone to step into that bush, and it's going to be Miscreant, and there's nowhere you can run when you get hit with the fear. The lights go out, the health bar goes down. Zoom can do nothing but use that Primordial Burst, try and get any kind of damage out, but that's about all he can do.
That should be the Baron. Fish Attack's gonna get a nice little blue buff. That red buff doing so much work helping heal them up on top of the shield bow. Should be enough gold now to get that IE, as Zoom is trying to hold on to this tier 2 with their life. That is a lot of power shots that have been taken from that tower.
Yeah, I mean, once again, one of those event horizons that we talked about that we do see occasionally come out from Zoom that does get the job done, but they're just too far ahead already, right? You've already got the Iron Lock of Star. You've already got the Ninja Tabbies. You've got so much armor that the turret just doesn't hurt, and Zoom just has to do his damnedest to hold these turrets.
Yeah, and he is doing his best work and keeping, like we talked about last week, is there's a little bit of fat left to trim from the base of Ashland. They still have a tier 2 to their name. They've got some tier 3s. They can continue to give a little bit, but one thing that they should not give is this Ocean Soul to the side of Ashland.
Yeah, they're looking like they won't. The flash coming out from Tape Dispenser to escape. Saintly Comics still the biggest member of the squad. This is the time, Saintly. If you want to make a name for yourself, you got to do it here because things are looking grim for him. Lights are going to get turned off with the baby cage here with a double stun. Looking to go in. Lightning Crash coming down. First one to fall should be missed 4. Never mind, not going to find. There we go. Out he go. Trash Panda going gold to stay alive. Saintly Comic is going down as well, and the chips are falling as the Cougars go down one by one, and not a single Ashland member falls. The ace comes through, the drag comes through. Regdor, is it too early to say that Ashland's taking this thing home?
I'm going to be honest with you, it does look like it's getting late, a little early here for the Cougars with a full-fledged ace and the Ocean Soul to their name. They're just going to walk across the pond here. They're going to pick up the big purple worm, and then at that point, all you can do is sit and pray that the towers can do some work for you.
And you know who's answering that prayer? Truth Panda, who's in the mid lane and making sure that tier 2 falls before he joins up with the rest of his team. Make sure that no one can come contest the Baron. They grab themselves that. Baron at 6k HP, no one there that's going to be able to match them. Zero vision on it as well, though they probably know. Yeah, they know what's coming. There we go. They see it, and it's gone. Red team, Ashland, go ahead, grabs himself the Baron. And the clock for the Cougars is ticking right now, Regdor.
Yeah, they make sure they have these pushing waves prior to their reset, so when they come back out on the map, they just automatically can kind of just fall in sync with it. As Saintly Comet, you know, see down here, all the lanes are trying to get on out, but somebody is getting jumped on there.
Yeah, it looks like we didn't even want to show over. This is just brutal. Zoom is just running for his life, but Chris Hero not going to land. Can they save him? No, they cannot. Pwned by Fate, going to take him out. Myth 4, though, looking for something maybe with those slowing arrows coming out, but is going to have to let him go. Zoom eats the dirt, unfortunate.
That is not a fight that you want to chase. Now,
at this point, dude, I'm going to be real. I'd consider it a W if they can just take out Trash Panda. Bro is 10-0 and 13. He has to at least die. Someone has to take this man out or take out Fish and Puck. Just kill them. That's all I'm asking.
I don't disagree with that statement, although I think it's going to be hard as Miscreant is taken into the hijacked death realm. They're just going to vibe it out.
Yeah, Miscreant just taunting under the turret. He's like, haha, you definitely won't try and Trash Panda. Right, he's got that discipline. He's not going to. He's going to risk anything, and this is something we've seen in Game 1 as well, something that Ashland is great at. They make sure that they don't give over any sort of unnecessary shutdowns. They play it safe when they need to. Pwned by Fate, just gonna smack the turret and then just get on out of there.
Okay, and they're just playing this 1-3-1 really well until somebody steps too far forward. It's gonna be missed.
Down he goes. Zoom next up on the menu. If Pwned by Fate has anything to say about that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, we actually see that Doughboy and Miss all both lost their lives, and now Miscreant, one of the few members still standing. The flash coming through. He's the last man standing. The Cougars have to rely on him to put up some kind of a defense here. Their last 2 turrets are up, but they're not going to be up for much longer. And actually looking to end it right here, right now. First turret goes down. They all dog right on top of them. The fear comes through. The kill comes through. And with that, Ashland University, in a commanding fashion, takes game number 2 and takes the series.
That is a clean 2-0 from Ashland University. They went 2-1 last week and were able to clean up some of that gameplay and just beautifully across the map. Like, we could say Trash Panda, oh my gosh, Pwned by Fate also just pop off performances here with the jungle mid, but every member of their team was strong. There was nobody who was just out of the game, sitting in the backpack saying, you know, Baby Yoda, just take me to the promised land. Every one of them were able to contribute in different ways across both these matchups and be so effective. They look like a very well-oiled group of individuals as opposed to solo queue people playing in flex queue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. It was nice to see as well. Even when a member does fall behind, right? Zeusmeister didn't have the greatest showing there in game number 2 right at the start. Was kind of getting dogged on there, but then Pwned is just like, I got you, but don't even worry about it. Sends it up into the top, gets him 2 kills, gets him the turret platings, and all of a sudden, Zeusmeister's just back in the game.
Yeah, and Nas is that was a scary boy there along the way, but we're gonna have to see how it continues to grow for like the Navigator division, because so far it's nothing to be scoffed at. These are some strong teams. They're looking like some powerhouses that are gonna rise on up.
Yeah, definitely. Very curious to see how they're gonna keep on moving, but that's gonna be it for this series and this best of 3. Ashland University taking that 2-0 home sweet victory. That's putting 2 total wins now under their belt. And with that, we're gonna take it to a quick break before we get into the next series. Don't go anywhere. And what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. The second series is about to get underway. I'm joined once again by the one and only Regdor. I mean, listen, Regdor, if series number 1 was any indication, series number 2, we're just stepping it up, honestly.
Yeah, no, I think that's how the general direction goes. Like game number 1, series number 1 gets you all warmed up, loose, ready to rock and roll, and now we're into the second part that should be a bit of a challenge, you might say, over here in the Challengers Heartland Conference.
Okay, I wasn't gonna make it, but I mean, we did make a lot of emergence jokes last week, so we kind of have to, right? We're in the Challengers Heartland this time around. Colorado Mesa University Varsity, a lot of words in one small name, going up against Missouri Baptist University. And Regdor, why don't we just get to the actual players themselves and see who it is we're dealing with here?
Yeah, you got Colorado Mesa University Varsity. That is exactly 4 words, by the way. Here with CMU frozen up in the top lane, CMU Robo Fortress in the jungle. Space is vast. True. In the mid lane. Oh no. They threw numbers and letters together. Zaf. Zaf is the name there in the bot lane, and King of Pinata as the support, which is by far my favorite name.
Yeah, they're keeping on your toes, man. Like, they're making you gotta guess kind of what the name is. You gotta piece it together. And Zaf, he's a math major. Can you really blame him that he's putting numbers in there?
Yeah, I was about to make an algebra joke, but apparently it's just super on brand here. Love it.
Yeah, and of course, it's not going to be easy for them because they are going up against the one, the only Missouri Baptist University, and they've got young Hook Dog in the top. Yes, and indeed in the top. Well, I don't know why I asked it like that. A kid from Maine, young one, MBU Aura, and of course Seal Boomtastic. That's a goated name right there. I like that one a lot. A lot of numbers coming through these names this time around in the Challenger series. Maybe that's like a thing. Maybe it's a theme.
Yeah, who knows? I know that the one number that they're looking for is going to be the number 1 here this week, because right now both of them are no, one team is an 0-1 record, one team has a 1-0. There's no even number or letters there for me to screw that up. I just couldn't read today. It is Colorado Mesa, who is currently winless, lost 0-2 last week in their series against New Orleans, while on the opposite side, it was the Missouri Baptist University winning out 2-1 versus Washington University JV. So once again, we find ourselves in the position of trying to find some sort of consistency in the season and trying to keep these wins going on through.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, it's kind of the question: are we going to see a repeat of series number 1? Ashland was the squad that already had the first win under their belt, right? That went up against a squad with no wins this time around. Is that going to be sort of the same thing? And honestly, when I look at the teams, especially from Missouri Baptist University, they're kind of stacked, especially Young One. I'm looking at Young One to be kind of the next Trash Panda almost.
Yeah, there's like a lot of highs and lows for both of these teams, and the highs are seemingly around the mid lane. This is the matchup, right, of the night. If you wanted to make a cool head-to-head graphic here, that is going to be Space is Vast, sitting Diamond 4 right now versus Young, who is in Masters right now, about 87 LP. It's going to be the tale of the Titans and how they're able to use the solo lane priority and autonomy that they have in order to affect the other parts of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw, if Series 1 was any indication, just how strong this jungle mid synergy. I mean, anyone under the sun who's ever played a single game of League really knows how much it means, but it was just such a masterclass in this last series where we really got to see mid and jungle playing off each other over and over and over, and it just perfectly working out, and just how incredibly just destroying it can be to the other team if you're able to get ahead.
Yeah, and we didn't even see that many things from the meta in that last series. I mean, we saw Belveth, we saw Trundle, we saw Zeri and Caitlyn. Like, these aren't champions that you would throw out and say, like, hey, this is the cream of the crop, be oneable type thing. The Misfortunes wasn't even talked about in that game. Kaisa wasn't even talked about in that game. Some powerhouse early game agency bot lanes that were just left off the table. And now with what is seemingly a little bit higher average ELO will have to see
Yeah.
what their drafts are going to look like and how they choose to kind of take this game one.
Well, I say let's not waste any more time and get right into the draft itself. Let's see if we can get some more meta on hand this time around, as in comedic timing fashion, it's canceled once again, so we might have to wait just a little bit longer. They're teasing us. We got to ramp up the excitement, you know, right there. We got to make this thing interesting. We got to keep the people engaged, entertained, and we just do that right here.
You know, one of the things, you know, I do when I'm not casting is I'm sometimes a referee for League of Legends, and you would be really surprised of how hard it is to get 10 people in a lobby, press the start button, and then do the draft that you just did on a website and just repeat it in the game. And sadly, one of the supports has to drop out and restart because they banned the first 3 champions and then picked the 4th ban instead of their own champion.
I thought this was going to be an angle where you're like, you know, I queue up, I load in, and then I dodge when I see something I don't like. I thought that's where this was going, and then you took this in a completely different direction. I'm all for it, you know. I mean, it is very hard to get all this done, you know, doing what is drafting? I've never done that before in my thousands of games of League, so, you know, I can't really blame them.
Yeah, one of my favorite phrases from my old job is common sense is not a common virtue, Echo, but sometimes you may not have book smarts, sometimes you have street smarts, sometimes you got skills on the Rift, you don't have skills in the draft. It's just everybody's given their own gifts in life, but we will eventually get to see how the draft pans out. I think we can talk about it a little bit if there's anything you know about.
I kind of zone out. I'm not even gonna lie. But honestly, yeah, it's just really the question: do they got those Rift smarts, right? And I mean, looking at the, you know, we talked obviously about the players who we're gonna be looking at, right? Looking at Young One, just looking at a lot of what he's played. I'm just saying, I'm seeing a lot of Veigar, right? Do you think we're gonna be seeing another? Because I mean, we saw a lot of Veigar, right, in Series 1. A little disappointing, maybe I would say. Do you feel like this time around we may get to see a bit more Veigar that's gonna be a bit more scary looking?
Yeah, I was gonna say the Veigar last series was kind of like the lily that never truly bloomed. It was trying its best, but it never just grew to fruition. I don't know, like in my mind, does play a lot of it, but I don't think that's a go-to. I think that's just an easy solo queue champion in the sense of like, hey, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to interact with you. I feel like in team play, you need a lot more mid laners that are going to interact and are going to cause things to happen on the map. I mean, he has a lot of Victor. He has a lot of Ahri, Talia as well. Like his mid pool, of course, is going to hit a lot of these meta champions, but also these champions that are established lane bullies that do want to push and roam and do things to that effect. And like when you pair that up against what I see from like Space is Vast, a lot of Xerath also has the Talia as that that crossover there, and then Vex and Lux, which Lux is quite the mid laner. Not a super meta champion. Some people hate it, you know, because it plays support, or they play support, and you just don't know what to do once the Lux comes back with a Luden's Tempest and takes half your ADC's health bar.
Yeah,
So,
I was gonna say it's over. Like that light binding hits, you're done. Hands away from the keyboard. Get back in.
Hands up against the wall. You're under arrest for your transgressions. Yeah, no, that's the way it is. But it seemingly is a lot of crossover in their solo queue champion pools. So there should be some things that are hotly contested as we get back into the draft.
And wow, just instantly already the Veigar taken off the board. We will not be seeing any of that in game number 1. Taken away here from CMU. They don't want to see it. And Ahri being taken off already. It's looking to me like we're going to be seeing a bit of a mid lane focus coming out here.
Yeah, just a bit. That seems like, you know, that's one way to do it. Take out a lot of the comfort for these champions. And there's the Xerath off the board as well, like we talked about. So on the red side, you do have to change how you approach draft. Ahri is like one of the most blind pickable champions. There's not too much out there that denies her laning phase, and she just fits into so many different compositions. Makes sense taking it off the board from the red side.
Yeah, definitely. With that Xerath as well, right? Just really, I mean, we talked about how the mid lane really is going to be the craziest head-to-head matchup, right? We're really going to be keeping our eyes on, most likely. I'm curious to see Zin's out, Fiddlesticks, both these junglers who can really make something happen in this mid lane, and the Galio. I'm curious if Space is, well, actually, I'm not curious because it is the lineup, right? So we know that Space is Vast is actually going to be the one on top of it.
Yeah, now that Fiddlesticks was picked as the B5 So it was blinded into Xin Zhao. Xin Zhao was the R5 pick for MBU. But nonetheless, yeah, this is going to be quite the interesting jungle mid duos because Galio doesn't really care about his lane, right? He just, once again, wants to shove and roam, wants to use that heroic entrance over side lane. And when you put that with the Crow Storm, that is a lot of AoE damage coming out and keeping you in place.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, we're seeing, right, especially here for the you got the Xin Zhao Vex combo, right? We talked about how that mid jungle synergy is going to be huge, and this time around as well, you've got the passive fear that comes out from Vex, which is going to make it so easy for the Wind Becomes Lightning to connect and then allow you to just dash right on top of them, get that knock up, and then secure the kill.
Yeah, and we're coming down to the last two, and that is the bot side. That is the Kai'Sa Nautilus. Kai'Sa and Nautilus were the king and queen of the bot lane last year and defined the meta for so long. Getting those passive stacks off of your Caustic Wounds from Nautilus CCing opponents does so much to be able to get off, the passive damage and have this really strong laning phase. And we're going into the slippery Ezreal, who's like the weak side ADC you pick, and they'll nerfed Lulu. Lulu took a hit on 12-18 all around the Whimsy, the Polymorph. You're getting less damage done, less time that they're getting Polymorph for. You have a longer cooldown. All these things that mean that she doesn't get to protect as well as she once did, or enable as well as she once did, because she just rose to the top of pick ban priority from pro play all the way down. And it's going to be interesting because we usually use enchanters as an engine to push the game forward, to enable things like Olaf or Xin Zhao in this case. And Lulu just doesn't do that anymore, frankly. Yeah. She's just a little broke down engine at this point. So we're going to have to see how they're able to piecemeal together with what is sort of a ragtag group of folks here for MBU's draft.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this time around, it's a lot more of a sort of complex draft coming through this time around. You've got this Aatrox into the Malphite top, right? So you're pretty safe there when you're on the side of MBU, right? You pick that Ezreal. You want to be safe because, like you said, you're going up against the king and the queen of the bot lane, right? That Kai'Sa Nautilus. If they get on top of you, you're in for a terrible time. And then it kind of feels like the mid lane is really the only place where you're kind of looking to really make something happen. But then you're going up against the Gallo, who, like you said, has one objective in mind: shove, roam, shove, roam. That's all he wants to do.
Yeah, and that's where I was saying is like it feels like MBU looks like they chose things in isolation to one another. We're going to pick Malphite because it goes well into Aatrox. We're going to pick Vex because it can go well into Galio and try to lock him in lane. We're going to pick the Ezreal Lulu because it can help dissuade some of the early game aggression of the Kai'Sa Nautilus. And then we just have the Xin Zhao there. But what do they all do together? Yeah, Vex and Xin Zhao are a little bit of diving buddies. Malphite can come in as well, but you're diving the back line. That's just really Kai'Sa, who will use the killer instinct, get that huge shield, and then wait for the team to collapse down on these three. Meanwhile, Ezreal Lulu are just kind of out to dry in that piece. So there's not a whole lot of parts that work together on that, whereas Kai'Sa, Nautilus, Aatrox, Fiddle, all these want to go in, want to go forward, and they all have things that complement one another. So like CMU has a pretty well-established team fight composition, whereas MBU has a lot of individual counters and neutralizers that don't feel like they're all in harmony just yet.
Yeah, at the very least, it definitely feels like MBU have the upper hand when it comes to just kind of poking them out, right? You've got those mystic shots coming up from the Ezreal. You've got, as I love to call them, those cheese wheels coming out from Malphite, right, with the slows. You've got the Vex, and you've got the Xin Zhao. So, obviously, you have a little bit of room to kind of play with there, right? Kind of poke them out, get them a bit lower so you can actually go in and sort of mitigate the fact that, like you said, right, these champs aren't all fully working in unison, but there's definitely still, there's potential to, regardless, still make things happen.
Absolutely. Maybe I could be wrong. It could be like Fleetwood Mac when they all hated each other, made one of the greatest albums in the world, Rumors, right? Maybe that's what MBU is on.
Maybe, and just gonna have to wait and see, because I think, Greg Dora, I've been told by the powers above that we're almost ready to get onto the rift itself. Just almost. I was hoping to say we're getting right on, but almost. And I gotta ask you, looking at the comps, who's taking game one? Who do you think?
I gotta say, I think CMU just has They have it together. I know you might be too young to even know who Fleetwood Mac is. In the back of your head, you're like, please don't ask me.
Smile and nodded.
Yeah.
Smile and nodded.
I know he's about to be on Google, ladies and gentlemen. It happens to the best of us. But yeah, CMU is the band altogether. I think they have a bit of an advantage coming out of the draft to be able to play around.
Okay, well, I mean, if the big brain says it, who am I honestly to go behind your back and say something else? I'll go with you that it is CMU, as well as we're getting ready to load onto the Rift itself. And it's just, I'm curious, man, because, we talked about how Young One, right, is going to be probably one of the most influential people to get on the Rift, but I think we're done waiting. Let's just get onto the Rift itself and see what is going to go down. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, CMU and BU going head to head in this best of 3. Let's get to it.
That is a first strike Vex.
Oh, Lord.
That is, that's something right there. And then on the opposite side for Robo Fortress, that is Dark Harvest. So, kind of a little bit different from both of these two individuals. Fiddlestick's been taking first strike as the most commonly chosen rune in the jungle, while Vex is usually gone electrocute. So we're going to have to see how these work out with this full-on level 1 wraparound happening here from the side of CMU.
We're just patrolling the whole map. I think they do get spotted out. The Aurora did see something coming in the hook. Not gonna find its mark, so instead just gonna drop some of those scarecrows, get a little bit of vision. Unfortunate, but you know what? I like the aggression. I like that they're looking for something here.
Yeah, it is better to be proactive than to be reactive here in life, and their composition is that. It is a proactive one that wants to make plays happen. They don't want plays happening to them here, especially in the early game. Other than that, just looking through here, nothing too crazy to be mentioned. It is the TP on the Ezreal, though. A little bit different, kind of going back to season 7, season 8 there, as the juice, the sauce for the man down to the bot lane.
Like so, double bot start in the path on into this top. Maybe we get to see something early on this mid as well, and it's kind of feels like it's kind of following suit as we expected, right? Especially when you're picking this Ezreal with the Lulu into this lane, you just want to play it safe, kind of force him to come to you and make something happen. The top lane, Aurora already taking a little bit of damage there. He's stepping up, and you know what? I respect it. Don't show any weakness.
Don't show any weakness. Don't show any fear. I'll be honest with you. I don't think Frozen will care one way or another trying to get down the
kid from Maine, though, already looking for something here. Dashing on top of Robo Forge, looking for some backup. It's coming, but it's going to take a minute there. Space is vast, looking for something. A Bountiful Harvest flash over the wall, and a kid from Maine. He's already getting dirty. He's getting his hands dirty, trying to get this blood flowing. He's going to get those Raptors for free. That's already some pressure being surmounted.
Yeah, no, that's more than just a little bit of pressure right there. Taking the Raptors from Robo Fortress just right in his face, force him to flash the wall. That is going to set the man behind because, Fiddlesticks wants to just get to level 6, wants to have the huge Crow Storms, that fear over top, and really get into the game. If he's just being denied farm, well, that's going to become harder. Here we go.
Yep, he's on top of him, and he's taking him out. First blood. He's saying thanks for the double camps, too, while I'm at it. But CMU Frozen on his way. I don't think you win those, though, brother. Gonna try and make something happen, realizing, though, that kid from Maine is pretty high on HP. He's gonna go ahead and back off. But already, that's a commanding start from a kid from Maine.
Yeah, and that is going to be, at the very least, a 3 buff. If I think we do the math correctly, he was able to steal the blue buff as well as the Raptors, so that's 2 camps down for Robo Fortress, and doesn't really have a way to respond. It's just the Wolves and the Raptors up on the MBU side of the map, so he doesn't really have access to those camps. So he's going to be in a bit of a world of hurt just waiting on camp timers.
Not much for him to do there as kid from Maine, however. He's suffering from success right now. He's got all the camps in the world to choose from. He's still got the Wolves. He's got the Raptors. He's got the Krugs. As we see the TP coming up from Young One here back into this mid lane. And actually down in the bot lane. Issue, but I can't take it out. King of Pin out of there.
Yeah, it's all looking up for MBU right now as we got another skirmish on both sides of the map.
Yep. Flash from a kid from Maine. He's once again on top of him. My God, the kids from Maine are just built different. Bountiful Harvest coming through to keep him alive for now. With the QB enough from Young One, it will indeed. A kid from Maine grabbed himself yet another kill. Wind becomes lightning connects. He's dashing into the turret. You can flash if you want. At the very least, they'll grab themselves the shutdown there. It'll go over to Robo Fortress, but a kid from Maine is terrorizing the Rift right now.
Yeah, what do they feed people in Maine?
For real, dude.
I need
What's
to
in
figure.
the water, man?
Yeah, this is just aggressive play after aggressive play. Now 3-1 on the champion. Does give the shutdown over, which is a nice feeling if you're Robo Fortress to get some gold back in your pocket. But this Xin Zhao is doing what Xin Zhao should do, and that is skirmish like hell. Find the Fiddlesticks wherever he may be and continue to just take everything from him. Has a 1k gold lead on his own here, isolated. That's all just from killing the Fiddlesticks over and over and taking his farm.
My God, I mean, he did not come to play. That's all I'm gonna say. A kid from Maine did not come to play today. They're looking to just put their foot down in game at #1, and I respect it. Grabbed himself the crab here as well. Curious to see if they look to try and pivot and just start to drag up. It's looking like they might just succeed. No, it's not warded, and they are gonna start it, and they know no one's gonna come and try to contest.
Yeah, and at this point, that is the smart thing from CMU, right? We can give up this first Drake, no problem. We need to stabilize a little bit. Is now that is, 26 farm deficit for the Fiddlesticks here, and that is a lot of the heart and soul of this AoE damage. That Crow Storm, as well as the Plentiful Harvest, or Bountiful Harvest, just being able to sustain in these fights and put down so much damage. It's only possible if you have a little bit of gold income. You've got to do something to, feed the beast that is Boris in the item shop. So, give it up first, Drake. Wonderful thing. Maybe look to fight around this Herald if you get an opportunity.
Yep, and looking like they might have found one, but it's not for the right side here. The Bountiful Harvest coming through with Robo Fortress. Can't heal enough. Young One taking him out. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, huge Shadow Surge going to stop that knockup coming through. So incredibly low. Space is vast, and he's found a way to slip away. Frozen here as well, looking to try and get a double kill, but the fear coming through. Maybe that's exactly what they need. Doesn't have that ult just yet. And without that World Ender, he can't quite end these two. And so is going to flat to get on it. Heroic Enters coming through as well. Maybe they look for something. Ooh, close. Space is vast. Almost going down there. He's probably saying calculated, but at least I was a little scared. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, space might be vast, but that was almost his, oh, never mind. He almost going down there, trying to make some things happen, but it's continually MBU on the play. Like, the jungle tracking this game has been suffocating for Robo Fortress, and anytime the solo lanes try to get involved in it, they're constantly trading down in these trades. So this 3k gold differential is mostly off the back of just keeping Fiddlesticks in the dirt. 2,400 gold to his name. I mean, his income, it ain't feeling too great right now, and nowhere else on the map has been able to do anything because of this stifling pressure.
Yeah, look at that from Maine. Is in his jungle once again, about to run into the 3-man, though this might just be what they needed. They finally find him. The shutdown goes into the hands of Zaf as they pick themselves that up. A kid from Maine might have gotten a little too ambitious. The adults had to put him in his place.
Yeah, that is exactly what you love to see. You're gonna have to see how Zaf is able to use that. Part of the things about Kaisa is the first thing being her getting her upgraded to Cathy and Rain. That Q, once she has 100 attack damage, boom, we get the upgrade. Does a lot more single target damage at that point, and that's really the first signifier of her being online and be able to be around these team fights. That usually takes her mythic +2 longswords or serrated dirt. So we'll have to see what route Zaf chooses to take with this newfound income they got off that shutdown.
Yeah, well, I can tell you the route that it's looking like CMU is looking to take, and that's going to be the Herald that is up right now. They're already moving on to MBU, excuse me, not CMU. Letters, can't do them, can't do math either. What can I do? But I can tell you that this Herald should be going to the hands of a kid from Maine. No one really there to stop him Frozen probably has an idea of what's going down, might take a little peek, but I doubt really anything he can do. Instead, maybe they try to collapse onto Young here. The Shield of Durant step up for a second, but that's about it. Maybe actually a lot of damage coming out from Frozen, actually. We pop the pressing guard, looking to find themselves some damage. A lot of damage. The Flash coming out with the smite as well. They will go ahead and secure themselves the Herald, and so overall, CMU able to turn the tide. Shadow Surge to land to CMU Frozen. Huge ulti, only one knockup though, but that might be all they need. First kill going out. Never mind, CMU Frozen heals so much. They go 1 for 1. Can they go 2 for 2? They get the 2-on-1. Aurora needs to find something. It's not looking like he will though. The cheese wheel comes out with the slow. RoboForge is looking for the heal. He's gonna flash instead, so the wind becomes lightning. Doesn't quite connect, and he'll be able to escape with his life. And overall, they go 2 for 1.
Aatrox is indeed a champion, and Frozen is the name of the game there. Not even on their mythic yet. Looks like they're going towards that Eclipse, but already making a huge impact and letting off some of the pressure from this jungle matchup there by able to get the Eye of the Herald in their pocket. That's free gold their direction.
Definitely. And as well, going to the hands of Frozen, who already is looking like he's going to be a bit of a raid boss this time around, right? 1-on-1 has that Derek, has the Vampiric Scepter as well. Dead and on top, and like you said, he's got that free money maker in his pocket, really. That's like one of those Instagram ads, like, you want to know how to make free money? Herald, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to start up that campaign sometime soon, as King of Pinata is going to miss. Nice little arcane shift from Miss You, but I can't. And the bot side has really been the quietest part so far. It's all been around these solo lanes and around a kid from Maine, just on a worldwide tour here, as the next Drake is about to be up, and it once again looks like it's going to be MBUs for the taking.
Yep. They're going to be trading that because CMU going to go ahead, crash the Herald, and it goes, get that gold. CMU Frozen. RoboForest is waiting there as well. Doesn't have that ulti up just yet. It's going to be a minute before it comes online. Frozen might not even need a lot of damage coming out, but Aurora is going to stand his ground. Rocks don't bleed. You say it over and over, Rektor. And he's not going down without a fight. But RoboForge is just biding his time. He's waiting. A lot of damage coming out. That Darkened Blade hitting hard. Fortress has that ultimate available. The Crowstorm channeling up. We don't get to see it though because in the bot lane a double kill came through. Now we get to see it though. The fear coming through. Can he find him? He can't. Aurora's too fast for him.
Yeah, and you can't move towards the top side of the map, right? And that's why I keep on saying rocks don't bleed. Is even if you kill him there, it doesn't do much. You kill the Malphite, maybe you get a first tower for Frozen, and then Frozen has to try to find his name in the game. He can't really do anything to move the game state forward with just that tier 1. And at the same time, you lose the Drake, you get a double kill for the Ezreal down on the bottom side, and it is MBU just trading up again and again, forcing CMU to take the downside of these trades, or in this case, not even be able to convert.
Yep, and Zaf, I don't even think he was looking at his screen there. Didn't expect that one to happen. Down he goes into the hands of a kid from Maine to take him out. King of Pinata can only watch and say, like, what the hell just happened, man? I'm gone for like 20 seconds and you die.
Every support to their ADC and solo queue.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
oh my god.
Space trying to create some.
Yep. Oh, the flash here, flash into the infinite void that is space itself, barely escaping that one. The Mistral Bolt almost connecting as well. No Shadow Surge available, so gonna get out of that one alive. And a kid from Maine once again is in CMU's jungle. This guy will not give you anything on the map. He takes it all.
Yeah, and MBU so far, we came into this thinking this was all going to be about the mid lane. This is all going to be about spaces vast and young. But instead, it's a kid from Maine out here just, selling the entire game. Holding it, every decision that's been made thus far has involved him every step of the way. As now it looks like RoboForge might be getting visited once again.
Oh my god, he just wants to jungle. It's in the name of the role, but he can't do that. He goes gold to dodge the death. That is a kid from Maine. They actually managed to hook him in. Maybe that's what they need. RoboForge is still gonna go down. A kid from Maine getting that kill with the heal. The Wild Girl stays alive. Grab themselves 2. Grab themselves 3 here as well. Onto Space's Vast goes gold, but where you going? Into the dirt. Mystic shot as well. And they grab 4 members, Rektor. We said that MBU was gonna have a tough time because none of their picks worked together well. MBU said, screw that, watch us work.
Yeah, this is a little bit of Ric Flair styling and profiling at this point with a 4v4 skirmish in between a tier 1 and tier 2 at just 14 minutes into the game. but it is this untamed ferocity thus far that is just not allowing CMU to do anything at this point. They're constantly being reacting to plays across the map, and is continuing to balloon now up to almost an 8k gold lead to their name. A little bit of a miniature flame horizon in the jungle on its way here.
Definitely. It feels like MBU kind of realized, right? It's like, okay, we don't all work well together, so let's all work well individually. Kid from Main's like, listen, y'all just don't die. I'll be up in Robo Fortress's jungle, right? And I'll just be killing him over and over. As long as you guys do your job, I'll do mine, and we'll all get money, we'll all get bread. And they all are indeed. You've got the 4-0 Ezreal, right? Already has the Dustblade, has the Essence Reaver, the 7-2 Zinzao, Kid from Maine, Gore Drinker, Hexner as well. Like, that is just, you don't want to see that. 3-14, a 7k gold difference. Things are not looking good for CMU right now.
Now, CMU definitely have a bit of a gap to close at the moment, and we have to think, it was the story of the game last series is you have this top laner who is a little bit accelerated, has a bit of gold, but they're stuck here in the top lane. They can't do anything to support the team, and MBU is making full use of this rock, just keeping Frozen stuck in lane.
Just running circles around him, just slapping. He's like slapping him in the face and be like, okay, see ya. Runs off. Meanwhile, though, a fight here in the jungle. Shadow Surge onto Zaf, gonna find himself that kill. King of Pinata, nothing he can do. Another Shadow Surge, and down he goes. Oh my god, it was another 4K, and it was so split up that we couldn't even see everything happen. Space is Vast is the only one standing, and that Herald's about to follow suit of CMU.
This is going very one-sided at the moment. Everybody's pretty accelerated. There was that true shot barrage into the Shadow Surge to make sure the one combo lands, and at this point, they're going to be able to pick up the Rift Herald, look to use it in one of these side lanes, and then just pick up another Drake, which will put them on Soul Point just here at almost 17 minutes into the game.
God, MBU is speed running drags, they're speed running kills, they're speed running towers. I mean, they're speed running the series at this point. This is a dominating performance at the moment, but not over till it's over. And we talked about, obviously, CMU's team composition needs some time to get online, and when it does, they're going to be able to work together very nicely. We still have to see Robo4 just hit one of those crazy sort of four-man crow storms that you hate to see in solo queue. Hoping to God he can do it, because the time for him to do it is slowly but surely dwindling.
And as you can see, he's slowly but surely falling behind in levels as well. Currently level 9, while a Kid from Maine sitting at 10, probably close to ticking over to 11 here soon. So almost a two level differential. And it used to matter with smites, not as much anymore, but it does matter in effective combat power. Now trying to see if they might be able to find some access.
Oh no, he's gonna cancel the TP. It's not gonna go through. Oh, just barely goes through. But is he gonna go down, or is it tanky boy? And so Frozen realizes he's got to respect that. A little bit of damage coming out. Doesn't have that World Ender, not gonna pop it. And also in this bot lane, King of Pinata doesn't have any HP left to his name. Aurora, man, he's just running at him. He's trying to kite that Darkened Blade, do what he can. Still keeping pretty even at the moment. World Ender is up though, and is this the end of Aurora's world? It's looking quite likely that Eclipse and the healing, it's just too much. Aurora knows that you gotta get out of there right now, but you don't have flash, you don't have ult, and you have no HP. Frozen gonna take him out in a dominating fashion. Let's see if Miss You But I Can't can avenge his boy. The lonely ADC up against Aatrox here, looking to hide himself in the bush here. Doesn't find those chains, doesn't find the first Darkened Flame. We'll find the second though. Now it's coming out from oh my god, that was nasty though. Missed you, but I can't. Take some out.
Oh,
Zav,
no.
okay. I mean, Zav, with the ulti still comes through. The 1 for 1 for 1.
The 1 for 1 for 1. That is indeed, that is how the math there. A little bit of signs of life, but still very much so a mountain to climb here for the side of CMU. They're able to get a tower in the long trade here, and based off of that, they're gonna have a bit to try to make anything happen. But they still have tier 2s. They still have a tier 1 on the top side. They've got some ways to try to slow the course of the game down. You could probably just say that, hey, if they get full build, they can't get any stronger on top of that, as the Mystic Shot gets themselves a red buff. That is precision.
Yeah, that's very nice. Good for Maine as well. Love to see it. Love those junglers that'll give you the red buff. Oh, wait, it's not even that he has to give it to him. It's that he stole Robo Fortress's red once again. And so he's like, you know what? Here, you can have mine. I miss you, but I can't. You can have it. I don't need it.
It's a twofer, you know? That's just how it goes. I'm the type of ADC that if I get the red buff and then I can take the enemy's red buff, that's just more red buff for me. Call it selfish. I call it calculated. It's just a refresh.
The 20 seconds you might have lost on it, just take that too. Listen, you need it, man. They don't. You need it.
Hey, ADCs need everything they can in this game, and it's going to be a lot on Zaf here, who's been able to find some of these isolated kills with that Acathian Rain and Killer Instinct. Nearly has their E evolution once they have the supercharge. They do get that invisibility while it's active. Help can reposition in some of these team fights. Maybe stay on the edge of the fray, but not too far into the fray where the kid from Maine can get a hold of them.
Yep. Once again, got a member down. Seeing you frozen. Does go down to the hands. Oh, just barely missing there. King of Pinata with the flash. Make sure that he doesn't get hit by that Shadow Surge. This turn's about to go down. Knife coming out from the Void Seeker, and so they are going to have to back off once again. A very nice cross map coming through, but is it worth it? They're going to take that tower, but it's looking like they're going to lose the Baron in return.
And this is the reverse of the cross map play. This is, you know, the Vex is playing weak side, gives up some pressure in order to enable not only a Baron take, but Shelly going down here in the mid lane as well. Gonna be able to take out a tier 3 before they even get the Baron buff in their pocket.
Yep, there we go. In goes the hands of MBU. They grab that. They grab themselves the turret and the inhibitor as well. Miss you, but I can't with the Black Lord. Beautifully done. Gets himself a first kill, but that's all he's gonna get. Got a little greedy there. Does end up going down, but still goes into the hands of King of Pinata rather than one of the other carries from CMU. Feels bad moment.
Oh, I thought we said we weren't doing the feels bad.
I know, but that's a feels bad moment. Come on.
You know, you could call it invokes sadness. There. You know, it's like you're built different, you're uniquely constructed, whatever you want to call it. We just use, you know, some other fun words to replace those words. And right now, the word that you can use is dominating for the side of MBU here. They have grabbed every neutral objective except for the first Herald. They have played the map extremely well, and at this point, they're kind of setting up to just try to close out into the later stages of the game. They already have one inhibitor down. They can spread their pressure across the outside lanes and just go for apparently a two-man knockup.
Looking for something there. You knockup coming through, but no one there to follow up just yet. Find themselves some time until the rest of the squad gets here. Oh no, King of Pinata threads the needle, runs himself into the dirt. Same thing happening to Zap as well. Young one, huge deal coming through, gonna stay alive here. Space is vast, knows he can't do anything but run. The TP coming through from CMU. Frozen, popping the world, and they're looking for Young here. Gets polymorphed though, and it's just all over for him. Down he goes. The wild growth as well. You can't take him out. So CMU Frozen gonna eat the dirt. It's all up to Space is vast, and Robo Fortress has the crow. So maybe you can try and utilize that. Never mind. If you get bursted out and don't even have time to channel it, down he goes. The TP comes through, and Ragdoor, it's looking to me like game one. It's about to go to MBU. They get themselves the first turret. They get themselves the second turret. They might be looking for more here. So much damage coming up from Miss You, but I can't. And they're not even going to opt to pad the KDs. They're just going to take out the Nexus. And with that, MBU take game number one.
That was devastation in this nation here from MBU in game number one. That was Rocket Team Rocket. You know, if you're an old Pokemon fan, that's where my brain was going. But yeah, just individual prowess mixed with, I mean, a man from Maine, a guy from Maine.
A kid, bro. You got dunked on by a kid from Maine. Not even like a 6'2", like big man from, no. It was like a 2-year-old kid. He just came into your jungle and took you out.
Yeah, a toddler from Maine just decided to follow Robotron wherever he went and continue to just put him in the dirt. You can't call him a fortress at this point, all right? Listen, he gets to be a Tron for now. There, but it was a bit of a jungle discrepancy that led to quite
a sadness invocation moment.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely invoking sadness here in game number one for CMU. and all the individual parts were able to just be stronger than the sum of CMU. And yeah, you got to go back to the drawing board for this one, ladies and gentlemen, because game number 2, I think they're going to try to come at you like a buzzsaw again.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything more I can honestly put to that. Got to get back to the drawing board. CMU they got to cook something else up. All I could say is if MBU made a comp where we consider that, they weren't going to work too well together, what the hell's going to happen if they do that? And we'll have to wait and see. So we're going to throw it to a quick break. And then when we're back, we'll be into the draft stage for game number 2. Don't go anywhere. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Game number 2 is about to get on the way, but first, we gotta get the draft out of the way, and so let's get right into it. Ragnar, draft number 2, anything in particular you want to see coming out?
Anything I want to see coming out, or things I want to see not be here? If it's not here, if you're a fan of CMU, get the Zen Zhao away quick and fast. I think that's game number 1. And number 2 is just maybe don't choose like a feast or famine style jungler. Maybe somebody who can like just do stuff regardless of what's going on. I hate to say like play tank or utility, but with a kid from Maine, you just want to be able to try to weather the storms that they have up there in Maine.
Some big ones, apparently, if this is what he's bringing to the table. Interestingly enough, though, CMU actually didn't opt to take out the Xin Zhao in that first rotation, maybe either having some kind of counter pick available or just being like, okay, we know what you're trying to do, we're ready for it. But regardless, they didn't do it and instead ended up locking in the Bel'Veth.
Hey, can you know how you could tell that it's almost Worlds? Is that Lee Sin got his yearly like miniature buff of like 4 HP, and all of a sudden he starts getting played again as a kid from Maine is trying to style on this champion. And when you look at that jungle mid pairing once again, Lee Sin, Talia into Kiana, Bel'Veth. Bel'Veth does not want to interact with you. We saw it in the last series. Wants to power farm, wants to get levels and get to that true form, while Lee Sin doesn't really care. He's going to come fight you every chance that he can. And when you put him alongside Talia, there's a lot of great setup here. And Kiana's not a champion that has been very high in the rotation for the mid lane as of late.
Yeah, not only that, especially going into the Talia, right, with that the Shattered Earth. That's already going to make it so much harder for the Kiana to actually make anything happen, right? The Audacity, the dash, just going to get stunned up, instantly rooted. That's already going to make it so much harder for you. As we do see the bot lane coming out here. Definitely 2 very different worlds, right? On CMU's side, we've got Ziggs and Zilean going up against Sivir and Seraphine.
Yeah, and this is also a little bit of role swap. So King of Pinata is now moved themselves over to the sidelines and brought way for Rakam, who's going to be coming in as the ADC, and Zaf moving down to the support position here. And I think, if I heard correctly, that you, quote, hate Zilean with every inch of your being. Was that the quote?
That was indeed the quote. I put it on record. I can't stand the champion. The Chrono Shift is just one of the most just busted ultimates in the game. Every time I see him on the Rift, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to kill somebody twice, and it's just gonna get me killed in the process.
Yeah, that is the bang for your buck there when it comes to Zilean. Some people on Twitter have been ranting on whether or not Zillion's an enchanter or not an enchanter. I'm in the boat of enchanter. This feels like is the dress yellow or blue or whatever that was again. But I think Zilean is an enchanter, and Zilean down here in the bot lane feels a bit awry when Ziggs is your lane partner. So you're running a double AP bot lane into the Sivir Seraphine. So it's almost a game of who can dish out more poke. But generally speaking, the standard attack damage carry here in the Sivir, even after all the nerfs on 3 items, it's still pretty disgusting, and their way to win the game is to right click. You can't miss those unless there's a Teemo in the game. Meanwhile, Ziggs has a medley of skill shots that all have to be accurately placed in order to put out high DPM. So once again, CMU now on the opposite side feels like they got a few different character notes going on, at least in the bot lane in and of itself, that makes it a little bit harder to navigate.
Yeah, definitely. And it also just kind of, I was going to say, do you think that the Zilean can enchant his way through this bot lane, right? Because you kind of look at just the bulk and just the pressure that's going to be coming through, right? You've got Sivir, right? But yeah, I know. I can't believe I made that joke either. With that Boomerang Blaze coming through, right? It's going to be a lot of pushing about, but then at the same time, you've got so much poke coming out from the Ziggs bombs, the Zilean bombs as well. Granted, you know, they do have to be actually, you know, hit on target to actually do damage. But regardless, if they can get those stacked up, HP bars from MBU's bot lane are going to be dwindling pretty fast.
Yeah, that could be the case. I think the biggest part is that neither bot lane wants to doesn't have to interact with one another. They're going to throw skill shots. They're going to do this and that, but you don't really have to look for 2v2 kills. It's not incentivized because you can just, on the opposite hand, farm your waves, push back and forth, and if you're the side of MBU, that feels pretty great when you have the Seraphine and you have the Sivir just free scaling. Oh man, that gave me hiccups right then and there. I know, I'm getting so hyped for this second game. But yeah, the bot lane aside, you look at the rest of the map and it's once again Malphite. He doesn't. Yeah. He's like the #1 prio pick when me and you were on cast.
Honestly, yeah, this is like, I think this is probably the 5th game we've seen him now in total. I want to say fifth or fourth, something like that. We've seen him pop up over and over again, and honestly, just because it's such a good pick, especially when you have this full team that can communicate so well. We've been seeing it over and over. Those ultimates coming through have been so huge, and this time around as well, MBU with a bit more of a comp that is going to be able to work together a lot better in comparison to their last comp, right? You send that unstoppable force in, right? Follow it with the encore as well, and there's nothing that CM can do if they find themselves in, let's say, for example, some kind of a choke point.
No, absolutely. And more so, like, I keep on talking about this idea. I don't think people have gotten it, in their brains just yet, but it's another champion that doesn't have to interact. I'm not a top laner. I'm not great at top lane. I played Malphite top into Darius after I watched it on stream. I went down 40 CS, but I didn't die. I didn't lose my tower. I threw my cheese wheels. And guess what? At 20 minutes into the game, I was still very useful, and I could just use my ultimate and watch my team be triumphant. Meanwhile, I didn't have to play the game. It's the greatest feeling in the world. So it's another great pick into Gnar, who is going to be trying to win side lane, is going to be looking to try to pressure something, and Malphite just doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean, look at that stride. Look at the stride already coming through from Aurora. That's a stride of dominance right there. Let's not waste any more time. We're on the rift and already almost saw an altercation coming through here. The ward is going to get dropped here. A kid from Maine. Once again, another one of these junglers where, he can start skirmishing early. Lee Sin this time around as well, renowned for just how strong he can be in this early game. Do you think we're going to see the same sort of thing coming through, right? A kid from Maine instantly up in Robo Fortress's jungle looking to just crumble his defenses, or you feel like they're going to realize, right, CMU, they're probably on to their little shenanigans and they're expecting it, so maybe he plays it a little bit safe?
I think he might play it a little bit more standard. The biggest question it's going to be is how long that ward in the topside river lasts, because this is a situation, there it is already. They're going to go ahead and take it out now. We talked about it once, we talked about it twice. Free XP for all 3 members here of MBU, which now means that both solo lanes will get level 2 on the first wave as opposed to the first wave +1, which means, Lee Sin probably is going to try to go buff to buff, but it does look like they're going to match the jungle pathing top to bottom for both sides.
Yeah, that's going to be incredibly huge for laner. Really curious to see them utilize it already in this bot lane. Look at that damage already coming out here. Those boomerang blades are hitting hard, and just like that, Rakam already incredibly low here at level 1, needs to recall already.
Yeah, he's gonna have to burn the TP level 1. It does look like, he's just gonna full back, and I have to think he has to TP back to lane. Either that or he's gonna be down so much in this matchup. He's just gonna walk it back.
Yeah, it's just yeah, he is indeed.
He's huffing it.
He's huffing it indeed. He's just chugging along there, and hey, it is what it is. A kid from Maine making his way on down as well. Curious to see if they try to find something. This wave is going to be crashing in here on this bot side. Robo Fortress making his way on up, obviously maybe looking to make something happen here for Frozen, who this time around, rather than the Aatrox, has opted for the Gnar. It's going to take him a little bit more time to really get into that fighting position. He's Robo Fortress going down, excuse me. I'm trolling right now, I'm not gonna lie with that call. And look at that, the kid from Maine already just snuck into his jungle. I don't think he was spotted out actually, so he's probably gonna be waiting at that red buff, or maybe opts to just try and grab it now. Oh, he knows Young One is there as well. They're looking to make something happen here. Oh, nice flash there to dodge though. Ignite coming onto Young One. Space is vast, trying to get himself this first blood. Is he gonna get it? Those are question. The flash to try and get on top of Young One, but he's kiting him around with the ghost. He's not gonna get it. First blood goes into the hands of Young One. With that ghost, he's able to just zap around the map. And down goes Robo Fortress. That's 2 indeed into the hands of Young One. That's huge. Kid from Maine wants to make it 3, but Zaf is going to be able to escape to the safety of the turret. And once again, jungle is wide open.
Yeah, that is going to be another 3 buff we may be coming to see here from Kid from Maine. And getting those 2 kills on Talia is so huge. This is the first strike variant ever. A lot of the times you'll see, Luden's Tempest go alongside like Electrocute or the Unsealed Spellbook. But this version, Leandri's Torment, is generally paired alongside of it, so that every ability you use is proccing it, and just kind of puts out a little bit more DPM along the way that goes in line with her kind of being this battle mage. So we'll have to see what Young One chooses to do, but so far, this first strike is getting to put in a bit of work here in the early game.
Indeed, it is. Space is vast. Both junglers on the move here. And Raveler not quite going to find Space's Vast, but the dash coming in. Double knockup onto Young One. He's going to get knocked up. Will they find themselves a kill? They might go 1 for 1. They will indeed. Young One picks himself up a 3rd kill. RoboForge in return grabs 1 as well. Now it's the junglers looking for that jungle superiority. And it's looking at me like a Kid from Maine just takes the cake every single time. That was huge. The dash did not get knocked up. And he grabs himself the kill respectfully.
I don't know if that was respectful or not. That was kind of the fadeaway there with that safeguard behind to get the final auto in with the flash. It's pretty huge along the way, but really good target selection from the side of CMU, knowing Young doesn't have a flash, doesn't have the ghost up, and be able to at least trade out there. 2 for 1 going to the side of MPU, but still, we got a little bit of veracity in us, but Kiana yet to find any kills thus far.
Indeed. Young One already has that last chapter picked up here. In a pretty good spot. Hasn't even really needed to use that extra gold coming through. Look at that damage already, though. Zeph actually, with the roam instead, has opted move away from bot lane, give some of that solo XP on over to Rakam. As maybe looking ahead on top. Did get spotted out, so they should know that he's coming. Doesn't even need him, though, actually. We didn't get to see the kill, but Aurora falling to Frozen.
Well, this time the Rock does indeed bleed up here in the top lane. Just had the Doran Shield plus Cloth Armor, so just a tiny bit of armor at the moment. Biggest thing being a ranged matchup that is Mini Gnar that poses a lot of problem. That Hyper doing that % health damage does pose a problem for Mr. Aura on the top side of the map. But on the bot side, we will once again see the first neutral objective of the game going to the side of MBU with, once again, who would have guessed, a Kid from Maine, kind of putting the masterclass on counter jungling and just matching RoboFortress everywhere he goes.
Yeah. It was. Zaf, come here. Zaf has finally returned. Just curious what the fuss was about here in bot lane. Is not too much going down just yet. Oh my god, they know something's about to go down here. RoboFortress has a feeling that someone's nearby. Gonna go ahead and clear that ward. A Kid from Maine, though, biding his time. The dash coming in. They're gonna find themselves that first kill. Ooh. Nothing that Space is Vast can do. RoboFortress actually dashing through that Unraveled Earth, getting stunned, and then the dash coming through, dashing away for his life. Needs to get on out, and then the Sonic Wave hits, burrows, but that's not gonna be enough. Down he goes. RoboFortress is gonna eat the dirt for the 3rd time this game.
And Young One is now 4-1 on this Talia. This is huge, and once again, the jungle mid just means so much in the course of this game, as Aurora is going to have to use the Unstoppable Force to get away. And man, things are just really looking up in the mid jungle for the side of MBU, while on the opposite side, CMU's top lane seems to be the place to be.
Definitely, and I mean, once again, right, it's that mid-jungle synergy we keep talking about for a certain reason. That's because it's always so incredibly pivotal. This time around, once again, Kid from Maine, right? You see him, he knows someone's about to go down. He just sits in the bush. He's like, listen, bait him in, we take him out. They do that over and over and over, and they get rewarded accordingly, right? Like you said, Young One, 4-1, already has that Abyssal Mask. Kid from Maine, 2-0-4. Making his way on up to what I would assume is probably going to be that Gore Drinker as well. It's going to make it so much harder to take him down.
Yeah, there's the Leandries now. This just makes it even harder. And one of the things about Kiana as a whole is there's the Scream display of talent.
Actually, nicely done, though. The talent is going to be well rewarded. They find themselves the kill with the Infernal Bomb coming through from the Calm as well. And that's going to be that first kill onto Space's Vast. And maybe that's exactly what they need to try and get back into this thing.
But now Young One has the ability to roam as well off this play on the timer. Looking at the Rift Herald, that is RoboFortress up here on the top side might be trying to make a play on Aura again, but their favorite pet's being taken.
He doesn't know right now. It's being taken. It's at 1k health, trying to dash in, trying to find anything, but won't quite get it. They don't even need this. There we go. We're going to go ahead and grab it. And look at that. Aura's there. Going to force a flash out from Robo Fortress to escape.
They might just look. They've got just a few more seconds before that mid wave starts crashing. They could look to do something top. Elect not to, and at least get down a little bit of shallow vision, catch out Robo Fortress if they tried to do that again. And it just continues to stack. This is, once again, a nice little almost 2k gold lead in the early game for MBU. They're not losing out too hard anywhere on the map thus far, and just winning in the mid jungle. So it becomes the question of, what lane do you play for CMU? Do you try to opt in harder onto this top side, like it looked like Robo Fortress was setting up for, and trying to get this Gnar ahead to where he can either group for team fights and use that giant Gnar ultimate to try to turn some of these things around in tandem with Space's Vast, or do you try to bail out and work towards bottom side?
Bottom side, especially being, once again, just like in game one, the more quiet lane of the series so far, right? Other than that initial engagement, level 1 hasn't really seen too much going down there. So it's been like the thing coming out here from a kid from Maine. He just wants everything. He made something happen mid. He's made something happen top. Now he's looking to make something happen bot as well. The wave is going to go ahead and push on over to MBU's side, but they know something's up, and Space is fast, looking to find something with a flash, just barely escaping the flight, but a kid from Maine is here, dashing on in, and there it is though, the chrono shift, gonna keep Space is fast alive, but Robo Fortress will not be so lucky. The dragon kick as well. Oh my god, the Sonic Blast. Yeah, you flash away from that, it won't matter. Down he goes, exhausted, smites the Space is fast, flash coming out, kicks him in the back, looking to end him right here, right now. Encore gets dropped, and goodbye, drop him in the dirt.
Man, tonight has been the night of these Wabo combo ultimates into abilities. We saw the hijack and enchanted crystal arrow into the dredge line to make it line up, and there the encore to get the knockback from Young to give a kid from Maine another kill. And you got to think that is going to be Rift Herald being dropped down there in the mid lane, continue to just provide a bigger space of gold differential here in the mid lane.
Yep. Flash coming through from Young to try and escape there, safeguard as well, but it's not going to be enough. Down to go, shutdown goes into the hands of Zap. A kid from Maine might have bit off more than he can chew. The over and under goes down, and they'll grab themselves the shutdown, go to the hands of Robo Fortress. Maybe that's the gold that he needs to rebuild his defenses.
It might be indeed. Looks like they're going towards that Blade of the Ruined King again as the first item. Pretty popular amongst Belveth players. And the gold lead still sits around the same. Drake is on the map right now, and it looks as though CMU gets to have the first look on it. Last time this was the case, it ended up in nearly a 3-0, and the Drake going to the side of MBU. We'll have to see if they can do anything to slow that down and maybe make some different changes.
Yep, they are. Looking at this drag right now, I already have one drag under their belt. Game number 1, they managed to take all 4, no contest. They're looking to do that again. Sweepers coming out here, knowing that they've been spotted out. Gonna start off this drag here. They do have the item advantage at the moment, so if they do end up taking the fight, it should go in their way. And it looks like CMU does know the Zaf, the only one there at the moment, hesitant to try and move in, and understandably so. Could get rough for him. Mega Death Bomb does go in, but it's not quite going to find the mark. The drag will go into the hands of MDU.
And now they're just going to look bot side. Rakam on his own here. Just a poor Ziggs trying to hold on to this tower. And that's really the name of the game right now, is you're just trying to hold out as we see. That's also a full AP. Zillion has the Lost Chapter as well. So a lot of damage is going to be riding on their back pocket.
The kick in the face as well. Yo, the satchel charge was huge though. Able to get back under the turret, but it's not going to be enough. Miss you, but I can't quite miss those auto attacks. And he's going to go ahead and secure the kill there. Almost gets out. The exhaust slowing him down, and so down he goes.
Yeah, that was almost a mom call YouTube moment, but sadly it was just not long for this world. The Space is Vast is going to try to hold on to this tier 1 tower on the bot side. It is still a 3v1. Does have the supreme display of talent, but I do not think that the damage would be enough to be able to trade out anything here.
Yeah. triple wards in the trial, but surely one ward would be enough. But they need 3 times division. I will say, nice to see the CMU this time around have emphasized a lot more just how important vision is. We're seeing quite a few more wards being dropped down by them in comparison to game number 1. And that has been such a huge factor in both series, especially when it came to, tracking the junglers. We saw that the first series especially was super paramount. And in this series, definitely as well, seeing as, a kid from Maine, we all know him as a guy who just sends it. It's your own jungle, and he's looking to send it here onto Young One. Robo4 just trying to get him. You touch my boy. Yeah, that's a big mistake you just made, but the rest of the gang is here to back him up. Young One just barely escaping, but the bomb almost takes him out. Almost suicide bombs his own friend there. But a huge Aqua coming through. Only going to charm one, though, but it is going to allow Young One to escape the space that he needs.
Yeah, that was enough to dissuade any further combat here, as Young One's going to pick up those Raptors there. The big thing right now for the side of CMU has been adapting. We talk a lot about how players usually play more reserved on stage than they will in solo queue, than they will in scrims, and that makes me wonder what a kid from Maine does in solo queue. I'm going to have to go spectate some of his games, because if he goes this hard in competitive solo queue, he has to be just like a complete monster in that regard, whether it's good or bad. Right now it's looking all up, but that over aggression could be something that CMU can take advantage of, knowing that he has the Lee Sin syndrome. You hit a Q, you have to go in on the Q. With the Mega Gnar coming up here, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, ulti is gonna land, knock up lands as well, but look at that, they barely even shred Aurora. A lot of damage coming through, uses that ultimate, trying to at least get one in return. Dodges the Boulder and Aurora. You can send everything you want. Zaf almost going down. The Chrono Shift is gonna keep him alive. He's gonna resurrect, and a kid from Maine. The Sonic Blast, just a bit mistimed there. Not quite gonna find him. Is that bomb gonna kill him? It's gonna be close. Ooh, almost does. Q. Take it back. You won't. I thought for sure he was actually gonna take. I thought for sure he was gonna take that with me on the bot lane though. Weaver's Wall cutting off Rakam. Nothing he can do but die.
Yeah, and just making plays across the map. Commit 3 to the top side for the side of CMU. Not able to get a kill on the play and lost a few ultimates in the process. Meanwhile, bot side, that payment worked out, and they're able to pick up the enemy ADC. So you might see a bit of a 1v1 here. Robo Fortress about half health, but they are in equal levels, so that's something.
Space is vast. That's what we need to be careful. Robo Fortress dodging that Sonic Wave here, getting a little arrogant. Not gonna lie, the Q not gonna hit the right target, and maybe this is exactly what they need. The trick coming through, the flash as well. Gonna burrow it. That's exactly what they need. 70% damage reduction on the board, baby. They get themselves the kill onto the kid from Maine. Grab themselves the Herald as well, and CMU are not going down without a fight.
Yeah, and that was the over-aggression I was just talking about, is that if they are able to figure out, hey, this is the name of the game, a kid from Maine fights where he stands, we could use that to our advantage and try to basically set up these scenarios where you think it's a 2v1 or a 1v1, but instead you're going to pay the price, and there it is. They lose the Herald, they give over more gold, and give another way for CMU to try to play the game, now with the Eye of the Herald in their pocket.
Roboport's going to be able to take his time, decide where he wants to place it. Platings may be down, but objective bounties are up, so that's going to be increased gold. They can take out the entire turret itself, but for now, keep their head on the swivel. Drag is up. Hit from Maine, Young One, and Steel Boomtastic. All there, going to look to start this thing up. Got Miss You, but I can't hit this mid lane as well. Dragon is up, and they're already starting it. They're going to buy their time if they want to go in onto this. It could end incredibly poorly for them, and it's looking like they're not going to opt to do it. 2k health, 1k health. They expected them to come around the corner, though, and Zaf's going to eat the dirt. The Dragon's going to eat the dirt. The Ghost coming through from Miss You, but I can't. He's looking to run down Rakam, and they get that Sonic Boom as well. Encore getting dropped as well. Supreme display of talent, supreme display of your demise. Down goes, space is fast. Rakam soon to follow. Gets taken out as well. A lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough at Robo Fortress. It's going to be the only one to walk away from that one alive.
CMU needed to stay away from the Dragon Pit and just get down the Herald. They have a Ziggs on their team. Pretty OP for taking down towers with that W on top of Shelly. They could have pushed, mid lane, maybe even just taken it top and forget about the Ziggs, but that Dragon just wasn't yours, and they pay the full price for it there. losing 3 members and not getting the Drake either. So a lot of resources put into a play that was only going to end in sadness.
Yeah. Sadness was invoked indeed. Down it goes. They do finally drop down. Jelly right there into this mid lane. They grab themselves that first turret. Should get the secondary crash, but the Ziggs isn't there, so they won't have the satchel charge. Was a little busy in this bot lane looking to back up Space's Bass, who has got the shutdown. It's going to crash in, so that's going to be a little bit more damage and bring that turret down incredibly low, but it's not quite out just yet. A kid from Maine. Like he's looking, yeah, kind of looked at it, but nice to see at least he's kind of respecting now, you know?
Yeah, I did walk over a ward there, but nobody wanted to do anything to the man from Maine. That did look like a good chance. You could start to see these shining moments from CMU where they are able to get the mismatches in the bot lane while they're also making something happen in the mid lane on top of it, which is really great. Was hoping to see them collapse on a kid from Maine coming off of that play, but you know, it's the little baby steps here along the way. Now only down 3k gold. At this point last game, it was all but sadly kind of over for the side of CMU, so much more competitive here in the second match of the night.
Definitely so. Space's Bass especially has that Youmu's as well. He's doing a whole lot of damage. Not sure if he's quite at that point yet where he can start just one-shot assassinating people, but he's looking to work his way on up. Looking at Young One, though, already has so much damage working for him right now. We got to be careful with it.
Doesn't even have the Archangel's Seraph's Embrace upgraded yet. Still waiting a little bit more time for that. More abilities to throw out to get that upgrade. But the interesting thing is going to be on the Space's Vast because Kiana is able to put out a ton of damage. I think Kiana players are still kind of reeling back from an unintentional bug where they were getting 2 procs of first strike based off of a issue with EQ combo. So damage numbers kind of changed around based off of that. So getting the true one-shot takes a little bit more time. Super nerdy stuff of how sometimes League of Legends works here. Just try to use the grass to get in here, but instead it's just Gnar who needs to run for the hills.
Yeah, CMU frozen, almost going down. And once again, Baron's up, and MBU's looking to take it. They started it up down at 8k health, and CMU, no, they cannot afford to give it over. They do have Rakam in that ball looking to do something, and now the fight does begin. Encore gets dropped, doesn't find anyone but the Sonic Blade onto Robo Fortress. Everyone's gonna get out. They grab the turret, but the Weaver's wall dash just barely got on top of it. Oh, I was just barely escaping. The doors were closing, and they managed to get out by the skin of their teeth. I don't know if Zap's gonna be so lucky, though. It will still go down at the end of the day, but it's a small price to pay. They get bot tier 1. They stop the Herald from the Baron from being taken, and the rest of the squad gets out alive.
Yeah, that is the closest thing to a win that we've seen thus far at the first real overall winning play. But the good news is that they just get to walk right back up to the Baron here and just reestablish vision control and not give up too much in the large run of everything. Still just a minute until this Cloudweight gets on the rip. This is Soul for the side of MBU. If I was an MBU player, I'd say, screw the Soul. We'll just trade it for the Baron. And if I'm the side of CMU, I'm going to say the same thing. Let me take the Baron and you guys take the Drake. We'll give over Cloud Soul just to take the Baron off of the board. So, you know, I just gave you a coin flip prediction on how it's going to work out. I've got 2 chances to be right.
True you do indeed. You secured yourselves on all fronts there. Oh no, Rakam. I don't think he's about to be so safe. If he walks up a little bit farther forward, a kid from Maine sees him, smells him. Drag is about to be up on the map 4 seconds, and it's looking like both teams actually want this drag. CMU doesn't want to give over the so you were wrong in both accounts, unfortunately, right now. I'm sorry. Ult coming through from Aurora, but no one there to follow up just yet. A lot of damage coming out on top of him, but he's able to tank a whole lot. The Mega Death Bomb not quite going to find anyone. Frozen in the thick of things, trying to find that ulti. Is it going to be enough? No, Chrono Shift keeps him alive, but for how much longer? Space is Vast is down. Robo Fortress should follow suit as well. Rakam follows suit. Frozen follows suit. Everyone follows suit. CMU are just dusted off the map by MBU. They grab themselves the drag, and they'll get themselves the Baron too. The pings are coming out, and once again, CMU's lifespan is looking short.
And CMU had such a great sort of counter engage there. Aura was only able to get one person with the knockup, but sadly Frozen couldn't get to the meat of the team to get that giant Gnar ultimate into the wall, only actually ended up stunning one. So then all the wombo that came on top of that just wasn't in the greatest space. I mean, just MBU plays the team fight exactly to the composition, allows the team members to kind of peel back and get all of that damage in, and, you know, they're rewarded with their efforts. They get a pushing wave on the top side to this tier 1 while the rest of the team resets. So, gonna have to be careful, Missy, but I can't. You might find yourself on the wrong end of this tag team of the jungle top. Well, never mind. No, we're good.
Powered recall to make sure he gets out there. Don't want it to follow up. Weren't sure where the rest of MBU was lurking. Didn't want to risk anything. They are just trying to stall these waves as much as possible. Need to run down that Baron timer as much as possible. Need to keep these turrets up so that they still have areas to fall back to.
Yeah, and part of the good news is because of this double AP bot lane, CMU do have a bit to dissuade the siege of MBU. MBU doesn't really have that great of a siege overall. They could try to like spread out the map in a 1-3-1 or the 4-1 that it looks like right now, and just kind of wait for somebody to get a little too antsy and be able to punish that mistake.
We're gonna get an antsy here. Robo Fortress barely staying alive. Sonic Wave does connect, goes down on the ground. It's gonna stay alive. Decides to make shove. Not gonna find the kill. Does he burn to death? It's gonna be close, but it's gonna be pot stiff, baby. So he's still gonna stay alive.
I didn't even realize they still had a revealable pot. You know what? Sometimes you're touched by an angel here. As now it's the mid-tier 2 that doesn't look like it's allowed to stay on the Rift much longer.
Down it goes, pushing the offensive. Only one minion there though, so gonna have to respect it. Gonna have to back off. Next minion wave is coming far from base here. Kid from Main needs to be careful. Going gold with the resurrection as well. Young one does go down. A huge shutdown going to the hands of Space is fast. And that's exactly what you were talking about right there. They find those over-aggressive members, but they're also going to find Rakam in return. Drops the bomb. Not going to find the kill, though. Zaf is here. Robo Fortress as well. Zaf might have stepped a bit too far forward. Needs a flash to get on out of there. Trying to find the kill onto Missy, but I can't. But he misses instead. Robo Fortress about to eat the dirt. Trying to find something. The first shutdown going down above and below and everywhere around him. But ultimately still goes down to Aurora. Space is vast. Zaf only 2 standing. Have to back off here. Aurora looking for him. Hits him with the cheese wheel. Doesn't quite find the Sonic Blast. Zaf's lucky he had that Everfrost, or he might have eaten the dirt too.
This is quite the scrappy team fights around the base. CMU taking everything they can to keep the game alive, able to keep the inner turrets safe. No tier 3s have fallen, and the Baron's about to be up, it does seem like. Which is a great thing, which means they're going to have to fight for the Elder in 2.5 minutes. That is the biggest thing that can coin flip a game around. We've seen how little health that MBU's been able to get away with. If CMU can somehow get this neutral objective, they have a way to just completely negate the game.
Yeah, speaking of negating, they're going to look to negate Rakam's health bar here. Young one not quite hitting all the abilities he was needing. Huge satchel charge. Mega bomb comes through. They're going to trade 1 for 1. Down it goes, Young one.
And that is a dub if I've ever seen one from CMU. You give up the 1 kill, but you do trade up in gold at this point. That is a 40-second death timer that is only going to continue to grow larger as this game progresses, and that means more chances for these mismatches.
Definitely so. And it does also just show that they can make something happen. They're not completely out of it yet. Sure, they need to find good positions to make things happen. You can't just take them in an all-out fight, but regardless, there's still hope. But Aurora and Kid from Main are looking to crush it, and oh no, Space is fast. Scream display of skill is going to keep them alive for now, but that ulti's going to be down for a little bit now, and now Zaf, Frozen, hold me, brother. I don't think we make it out of this one, and you don't. The Encore comes through. All the damage comes through. That's going to be 2 members from CMU eating the dirt, and so will this top tier 2.
Aura just took like 4 tower shots there, and I didn't see his health bar move at all. The Rock is strong as Young One is now back up and on the Rift. 4 items complete in their inventory.
Yep, from Main, running them into their own fountain. Low health bars, though. Need to be careful. I'll miss you, but I can't. Incredibly low. They're going to do everything they can to protect them. Trying to get on top of him. Robo Fortress going to pick up that shutdown. Going to pick up a triple. That's absolutely huge for Robo Fortress. They will lose Spaces Vast in return, but that's 3 kills going to Robo Fortress. That's so much shutdown, so much gold. And Robo Fortress ain't done just yet, but with that true form, can't quite catch up to him. But you know who can? Rakam. He's there. He's going to try and find something, slow him down, buy him a little bit of time. Almost goes down in return, but look at that. Robo Fortress is on top of him. Finds the knockup, finds the dash. Flash comes out. Can he get the kill? The smite. Not quite going to be enough. The chrono shift to make sure he doesn't go down. And now Zaf might bite the dirt instead, just barely escaping that one. The bomb's coming out. Not quite going to find its targets. Low health bars all around the board. And with 14 seconds left on the Dragon, you cannot afford to die.
This is going to be a 5v5. Everybody will be alive here. This is the one for all the monies in the game, as Zaf is trying to just not allow them to recall here prior to this Drake coming up. And gosh, yeah, MBU overstepping huge on the top side of the map that leads to Robo Fortress getting a triple kill is starting to become a real life fortress on this Belveth here.
Yo, though, this might just be the fight to decide it all. Has been started up. A lot of vision for CMU to work with right now. They're burning down that dragon. The most Spaces Vast looking for something, dodging in, skill. Gonna find themselves a couple of members. Dash on top of him, though. Spaces Vast about to go down. Down he goes. No one there to help him out. Zaf not close enough. 3k health left on this dragon. Weaver's wall getting dropped as well to try and block him in. Belvet's gonna go down, and that means there's no smite available. There's no HP available, and there's no help either. Zaf needs to do something. He seals it, though. He's able to grab the dragon at the very least. He will go down, but at least the drag doesn't fall into the hands of MBU's hands. But is that going to be enough is the question. Regdor death timers are high, and there's a minion wave in this top lane.
Yeah, they have a chance to end. I think they can just end the game off of this one. They still have minions alive. They're going to get down this inhibitor. They're going to keep it safe with the cannon. That means that this may just be a semi-clean 2-0 from MBU.
3 seconds on Spaces Vast. He's going to be back up on the board. One turret left standing. Needs to get out of base and make something happen if he doesn't want to lose it right here, right now. Young One takes a shot there from the fountain turret. They're looking to all rush it in. They have to make something happen. First member goes down. Fortress going to eat the dirt as well. It's down to 3 members. They can't even leave their own fountain. They're not going to find anything but their own demise. 4 members go down. Spaces Vast, last member standing, and he knows he can't leave the fountain. MBU triumphantly take game number 2. They don't even need the drag. That
was an absolute slaughterhouse. I mean, MBU is not infallible. This is a 2-0, but you started to see the chinks in the armor, the ants in the pants, making multiple dives under a tier 3, and then losing their wave in the process, over chasing and giving Colorado and Mesa a lot of ways back into the game along the way there. So really strong, moving up to 2-0 now for MBU. On the opposite side, going down to 0-2, but a lot of great things to work with for Colorado Mesa. But MBU, Young One, a kid from Maine, they are a dynamic duo, a powerhouse, the Brothers of Destruction, if you will, out here on the Rift in both of these games today.
Yeah, listen, it was so hectic that my AirPods couldn't even keep up. I had to switch to the headset, man. That's how insane it was. I mean, that was crazy. And I mean, the steal coming up from Zaf as well with his dying breath grabbing it. It's so unfortunate that they couldn't make something happen with it, but it's just MBU is too far ahead. Honestly, it's like you said, right? Young One, a menace, a bit of a problem with his jungle buddy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It is still early in the season. A lot of room for teams to level up, get in synchronization, and find their ways to play the game. But as of right now, MBU has found theirs, and it is through jungle and mid.
MBU set the bar very high with this performance today. And like you said, season's only getting started, so it's only going to get crazier from here on. But they are going to go with a nice 2-0 victory and also put themselves 2-0 on their record now. They have yet to drop a series. Speaking of series, fortunately, that was the last series for tonight. But regardless, I think we got some pretty banger games in today.
Every game is a banger here. Life is a dream.
That it is, and I wish all of you sweet dreams, because we're gonna have to sign off here for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me and Regdor today. Regdor, yeah, on it. Yeah, I'm about to hit the bed. I'm tired. That game took it all out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. I need to get out of here. Just hit the sack. But regardless, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your night. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace.